This girl was a complete novel fanatic, especially for those heart-wrenching tragic love stories. Just as she was about to rush home to read a novel, a truck suddenly appeared, just like in many novels. She was reborn as Lucette, although she was just a commoner. In this life, she decided to live a carefree life. One day, Lucette happened to see a group of children bullying a poor little boy. Being kind-hearted, she immediately stepped forward to protect the boy named Aurelio. This brought them closer, but what Lucette might not have known was that Aurelio was the male lead of the novel, and their fates became intertwined from then on. This wonderful story tells the cruel history of the Vladan Empire and is a 19+ rated romantic fantasy novel. It all began with the male lead being born as an illegitimate child, abandoned by his mother, and growing up in the cold imperial palace. Misfortune followed, and ironically, the female lead he was arranged to marry looked just like his mother, making him both love and hate her. The rest of the story is well known. As the title suggests, it's a cruel and romantic love story. The girl quietly looked at her phone. All right, I have a rough idea of the plot. Now let me check the comments from people who've read it. Various comments popped up. I've read a lot of romantic fantasy novels, but this is the first time I've seen one so violent and heavy. I was so curious about the ending that I read the last volume. Was it rated 19+ because it's too cruel? Is that it? I want to go back to before I read Volume 3. I shouldn't have read the ending. I feel sick. Is Volume 3 the most violent one? Volume 1 introduces the background, and Volume 3 is all about the male lead going crazy and killing everyone. I think I'm going to have nightmares about that Tyrant male lead. The comment section has been filtered because someone reported spoilers. She excitedly tapped her phone. The fact that they're telling me not to look just makes me more curious. Realizing something was wrong, she was surprised, her thoughts racing. No matter how much I scroll, there's no ending. And it's too brutal. Don't tell me it was rated 19+, because it's too gory. The girl sighed wearily and muttered to herself, I'll read the rest when I get home. I can't possibly read this on the street. Suddenly, a loud shout was heard. Hey, watch out! The girl looked up, and a large truck appeared. Her eyes widened. They say that before you die, your good memories flash before your eyes like a revolving lantern. But in that moment, I could only think of one thing. The last thing she saw was her phone. Please, don't let anyone see my phone. The next moment, Lucette suddenly shouted, Why am I still alive? A pleasant voice rang out. You can really fall asleep anywhere. She didn't understand. Huh? Chelsea walked over and said, I told you to go pick some mushrooms for dinner. Lucette looked blank. Mushrooms? But I don't know how to pick mushrooms. She looked at the woman in front of her. This isn't right. Who is that? The woman came closer. You were just hiding here, slacking off and sleeping. Lucette still didn't understand what was happening. Chelsea looked at her. You're not going to listen to me anyway, are you? Then it hit her. Mom? The woman looked confused. You're talking as if you've never seen me before. Lucette turned to look around. Where's this? Who am I? The woman's expression turned stern. Are you still half asleep? Hey, Lucette, this is the back mountain of our Sinan village. Chelsea continued. It's a small village called Sinan, located in a valley on the border of the great Vladan Empire. Hearing this, she was startled. The Vladan Empire? She thought to herself, could Vladan be the setting for the novel? The cruel history of the Vladan Empire? Lucette's expression worsened. She asked herself, have I been transported into that bloody and cruel 19+ novel? My luck is just. A week had passed since that day. Chelsea called out, Luce, come and eat. Lucette recalled, I've gradually come to understand my situation. The woman brought the food over. Here, this is a stew I made with the mushrooms we just picked. Lucette's face beamed with happiness. I'll enjoy it. Chelsea gently advised, if you want more, just tell me, and I'll get you another serving. There's plenty left. She nodded happily. Okay, I'll have 2 bowls. The woman smiled and reminded her, don't be too greedy. She gradually got used to life here. My name is Lucette. My father passed away from an illness early on, and I currently live with my mother, Chelsea. This is the mountain village of Sinan, far from the capital. Meanwhile, she had also learned a few things. The Lord is a commoner who used to be a musician. Perhaps he got the position because he was good at composing. Chelsea brought the spoon to her mouth. This means she smiled brightly. It's great to be able to live a life without worrying about anything. Suddenly, Lucette remembered. In the imperial palace of the novel setting, they would kill each other, but she felt that this was fine now. That has nothing to do with me, a commoner living in a shabby house. Chelsea asked, as usual, is the food to your liking? Lucette nodded in affirmation. Yes, it's really delicious. The woman chuckled. Whose cooking is so good, then? Lucette cherished this kind of life, with hot meals and a warm family. The woman asked with a smile, "Why are you suddenly staring at my face like that?" Lucette grinned foolishly. "It's nothing." She knew in her heart, this is the ideal life I wanted. Then Chelsea announced, "The villagers will come to fix our roof this afternoon." Lucette nodded. MMIC. In the afternoon, two men quickly fixed the house. "The roof of this house is always causing problems, isn't it?" "That's because it's so old," Chelsea said with a smile. "Thank you, as always." Just then, a voice called out, "Chelsea." The woman turned her head in surprise. "Who's here?" Dahlia said with a smile. "You're fixing the roof again. I brought some apples. Have some." The woman felt apologetic. "Dahlia, you just gave me potatoes not long ago." Chelsea accepted politely. "I'm always just taking things from you." The woman smiled brightly. "What are you being shy with me for? We have to help each other to get by." Lucette quickly realized that was Dahlia. Now, they're probably going to gossip. "Hello." She immediately turned and left. "They're going to talk for a long time, so I'll slip away first." A gentle breeze blew through her hair. Lucette walked forward contentedly, enjoying this life. Did I get it all wrong? I was worried for nothing because I thought it was a cruel novel. How can this place be so peaceful? Country life is the best. Just as Lucette was leaving, a voice rang out. "Stop." She noticed a poor little boy. "Give me back my glasses." Vincent sneered. "What did you say?" "I can't hear you." The boy didn't forget to declare, "If you beg a little more sincerely, I might reconsider." Lavina's weakly tried to resist. "Don't do this." This confused Lucette. What are they doing? She thought. Are they bullying him? Lavina's took a step forward. "Give them back to me." The boy continued to question, "Why are you reading a book in the way of our play area?" Vincent didn't forget to mock. Instead of that, "Why don't you guys go play somewhere more spacious?" Just then, poor Lavina's accidentally tripped. He fell hard into the water below. Seeing this, Lucette shouted worriedly, "No." The children were still laughing. "Did he step in too deep?" You guys ask, "Do you like water that much?" Don't tell me you only have one pair of glasses. Vincent said smugly, "Guys, what should I do with these glasses? Should I smash them?" "Hey!" Lucette shouted, "Hey you." She decisively kicked the boy into the water. "You bully." This scene caught Lavina's attention. Lucette uncomfortably wiped the sweat from her forehead. How can they gang up on someone just because they have more people? He looked up at her. Lucette continued to ask, "Hey, are you okay?" She gently held out her hand. "It's okay now. Take my hand." This simple gesture was enough to move him. Lucette repeated her words. "Hey, can you hear me? Take my hand." Lavina's eyes widened. Lucette was also envious. "He has beautiful eyes like jewels." Just then, a voice rang out, "Hey, Luce." Vincent spoke unhappily. "Why did you suddenly interfere? Don't think you can be so arrogant just because you're a girl. Get out of the way." She turned her head and scolded. "Why are you bullying an innocent friend?" The boy quickly declared, "Innocent? Look at his eyes." Another boy added, "They're red like blood." Lucette didn't seem to care. "So what?" Vincent sighed and informed her, "You idiot, don't you know that red is a cursed color?" She sighed and scolded, "You're such a little kid. That's a superstition from a long time ago." Lucette silently recalled. Mother said that wars often happened in the Empire, and red was considered an unlucky color. She looked at Lavina's, standing there. "But it's not his fault he was born with eyes like that." Just then, Lucette asked, "What about my hair then?" He turned to look at her blankly. "It's the same red color." Her voice became more assertive. "Are you going to bully me too? Because my hair is an unlucky red color." Lucette continued to look at the group. "I'll have to tell my mom that the hair color I inherited from my late father is unlucky." Vincent was still trying to explain. "No, hey, it's not like that." She grabbed a strand of her hair. "It's not wet yet." Her expression gradually turned sad. "Mom, what should I do?" Vincent said my hair is cursed. This situation left Vincent at a loss. The boy threw the glasses aside. "I don't know. You figure it out." Lucette walked over and picked up the glasses. She smiled in amusement. "These mischievous brats." Then Lucette handed the glasses to Lavina's. "Here, take them." His face turned bright red. "Thank you." He took the glasses from her hand. The action puzzled her. His hand is shaking. She thought he's so frail. Lucette continued to pull Lavina's along. "Are you cold? Come here." He was still blank. "Huh?" Her expression was a little worried. "What do you mean, huh?" "Your hands are shaking. You'll catch a cold if you leave like this." Lucette was worried. "Because I'm worried about you. I'll walk you home." "Where do you live?" He hesitated and asked back, "My house." Then he led Lucette to a house. "Is this your house?" Looking around caught Lucette's attention. I can't believe there's a house here. Lavina's slowly opened the door. Gulmine, the sight inside caught her attention, and her eyes lit up. Your house is just like a secret library. She continued to comment, there are so many books. Lavina's quickly explained, it's because I read a lot. Lucette was curious. What's that? Did you write those too? He nodded. I wrote them down bit by bit. She asked cheerfully, that's amazing. Can I look around your house some more? He was confused. Huh, there's nothing much to see. Lucette seemed to be enjoying herself. How can you say that? There are so many interesting things here. Can I? Although surprised, Lavina's agreed. All right, if you want to. She cheered happily. Thank you so much. He thought to himself, it's strange. This house is a place where others are not allowed to enter. Lucette was still admiring things. This bowl is so pretty. Lavina's walked up and looked at her back, suddenly bringing a guest home without any preparation and even showing them around. He looked in one direction. In fact, all of these actions violate etiquette and rules. Suddenly, he felt confused. But why do I have a feeling that girl wouldn't care about any of this? Just then, their eyes met. Lucette asked curiously, hey, shouldn't you go change your clothes? Are you standing there because you're afraid I'll break something? Lavina's shook his head, blushing. It's not like that. It would be rude to leave a guest and walk away. She giggled. What's this? So you really are a polite kid. Meanwhile, she pushed him inside. I'll be fine. Go get changed, or you'll catch a cold. Lavina's immediately closed the door. I'll be right back then. Wait for me. Outside, she was still saying, go on, I'll be good and stay right here. She thought to herself, he's really cute. Lucette decided, then I'm really going to explore this place now. Afterward, she looked around. Lucette's expression gradually grew curious. If he's read all these books, he must be very smart. She explored the place. Although he's a bit clumsy, he seems like a kind kid. Maybe he's a bit introverted because he likes to study. Suddenly, she remembered there seems to be a word to describe this type of person. But her mind wasn't working that fast. He's like. Lucette suddenly gasped. That's right, he's like a bookworm, and he even wears glasses. It's perfect. She immediately decided, when he comes back, I have to ask him more questions. Lucette curiously picked up a bottle of liquid. This is his food? She was confused. What is this awful smell? Is this really food? Has it gone bad? Unfortunately, she realized something at that moment. Lucette sighed and muttered to herself, I'm so shocked. Could it be that I was too hungry? This can't be food. I'm so embarrassed. Suddenly, Lavina's appeared. What are you doing? Lucette slowly turned her head. Hey you. His expression completely changed. She became scared too. Is he angry because I touched something in his house without permission? He was about to say something. Hey you. Lucette squeezed her eyes shut. I'm sorry. I promised I'd be good. But this surprised Lavina's. Why are you apologizing? He brought over some cookies. I brought some cookies for us to eat. Only then did she notice. Cookies. Oh my God, this is the first time in my life I've had such delicious cookies. Lucette's face lit up. Even the cookies for guests are this delicious. I'm so happy. She kept praising, thank you. Thanks to you, I get to eat something so tasty. Lavina's nodded. I'm glad you like them. Suddenly, Lucette was curious. Did you just move to this village? I have a question. When did you move in? He informed her, 4 days ago. Lucette realized with surprise, I knew it. No wonder this is the first time I've seen you. Lavina smiled and said, please take care of me from now on, Lucette, seeming to realize something, but that's really strange. This was an empty lot just a few days ago. Do they build houses this fast now? He got a little flustered. Is that so? I've been staying at home since I moved in. She didn't think much of it. No wonder I didn't know you. Suddenly, Lucette pointed ahead. I have another question. Are all the books on the shelf yours? Lavina's nodded shyly. They're all mine. Lucette smiled and praised. That's amazing. A lot of them look difficult to read. He further announced, those over there are philosophy books. She was surprised. You like philosophy? Then Lavina's said some strange knowledge. Initially, I started reading it due to an interest in metaphysical realism, but the difference between subject and object perception. His face lit up. In other words, if ontology and axiology are the study of objects and values, then epistemology is a more fundamental approach to human study. Finally, the concept of the sign is based on the relationship between the subject and the object. However, in terms of methodology, the basic premise has collapsed. Where will the objectification of entities go? Lucette didn't know what to say. This friend, she found him strange. He has the ability to focus on his hobbies in a completely different way, possessing extensive knowledge and a very solid personal world. He's definitely a bookworm. Lavina's suddenly gasped. I'm sorry, I talked too much. Seeing him coughing nonstop, Lucette was worried. Are you okay? why are you suddenly coughing so much? You were in the water for too long, just now. He immediately opened the bottle of liquid from before. It's fine. I'll be okay after drinking this. Seeing Lavina's action caught Lucette's attention. That medicine, the smell is so strong. She felt curious. Hey, what kind of medicine is that? He explained, this is the only medicine my body can take. Suddenly, Lucette became worried. What kind of illness does he have that he has to drink such strong medicine? She sighed and said, I see. She thought to herself, if I keep asking him what illness he has, would that be too nosy? Lucette's expression turned sad. She quickly decided, hey, I'm going to head home for a bit. Lavina's was surprised to hear this. Huh, you're leaving now? Before he could react, hey, wait. By then, she was already gone. Lavina's stood there stunned. Did I do something wrong? He recalled his actions just now. What was it? Was it because I told a story only I knew, or was it rude of me to cough and drink medicine while eating? This surprised him. If not, then could it be? Lavina's felt regretful. Did she notice that something is strange here? He unconsciously recalled the nobles in the imperial palace. They smiled and informed him, please remember, Your Highness. They also sternly instructed, in that place, no one must ever know Your Highness's identity. Lavina's could only stand there. For all these years, to protect Your Highness, I will brainwash everyone in that village. But if there is an exception, he listened quietly, no matter who it is. Remembering something caught Lavina's attention. His eyes were sad. It's strange. He looked at the half-eaten cookies. Even if I'm looked down upon for having these eyes, or get shunned and abandoned, I find it normal because I'm so used to it. Lavina's wondered, but why do I feel so lonely right now? Just then, Lucette's voice rang out. Hey, open the door. She came in. Sorry, I just ran home for a bit. He was confused. Lucette explained, this is the stew my mom made. She continued to ladle it into a bowl. Taking medicine on an empty stomach will hurt your stomach. Then she pushed the bowl in front of Lavina's. It's still hot. Eat up. He nodded. Thank you. A warmth spread across his face. So this is why you rushed home. Lucette said with a smile, sorry, I just wanted to bring it to you quickly. But my mom's stew is really delicious, right? He nodded in praise. It's really delicious. She immediately waved her hand. Right? Eat more. Suddenly, Lavina's was confused. But speaking of which, I still don't know your name. What's your name? She said with a smile. My name is Lucette. You can call me Luce. This scene left Lavina's stunned. A bright smile bloomed on his face. I'm Levinas. You can call me Leviticus. Time passed. From then on, we became friends, and Love's house became our secret base. Lavina's announced, I've solved it completely. Looking at the puzzle cube in his hand, she was surprised. She immediately praised, that's amazing, Leviticus. Are you actually a genius? He quickly shook his head. How could I be? I still have a lot of shortcomings. Lucette said, if even you say that, then what does that make me? Her expression gradually turned sad. There's so many things I don't understand. It must be hard for you to play with me, right? He quickly explained, it's not that I'm the one playing. You're the one who comes to play with me. Lavina's continued, you came to me, stay by my side, and talk to me. Just that alone makes me happy. He felt very happy. All of this is a first for me. Lavina's face lit up. I'm so happy. I just want to live like this forever. Lucette smiled and shook her head. What are you talking about? That's not hard at all. He immediately held out his hand. Let's just live like that, okay? Let's make a promise to each other. She quickly agreed. A promise that Luce and Lavina's will be friends forever. The distance between them closed. I'll remember this promise. Chelsea's voice rang out. Luce, are you there? Luce quickly walked out. Mom, the woman sighed. This child, I knew you'd be here. Lavina's bowed his head. Good day, ma'am. She smiled. Lev, are you doing well? Chelsea continued, handing over a cake. Luce, you came empty-handed again, didn't you? I told you to bring a gift every time you visit someone's house. He was overjoyed. Thank you very much for the gift, ma'am. Chelsea added gently. You must be tired from playing with this little rascal of mine. Lavina's quickly shook his head. Not all. On the contrary, I feel very happy. He continued with his strange way of speaking. I am also aware that it is customary to bring a gift when visiting someone's home. But if we compare the frequency of your daughter's visits to my house with the space available for storing gifts, then Lucette walked closer and announced, Mom, we're friends. She was curious. We're going to keep playing together in the future. How can we give gifts every time we meet? Looking at the two children, Chelsea was surprised. Look at these kids. Lucette quickly left. Well then, see you tomorrow. I'm going home now. Lavina's felt regretful. Be careful on your way home. She gently placed her hand on his head, a bright smile on her face. Don't be bored while I'm gone, okay? Then Levinas watched Lucette leave. He felt a little regretful, his face blushing. What should I do? The more time we spend together, the more I regret having to say goodbye to her. Levinas said sadly, I want to spend a little more time with her. Meanwhile, Chelsea also noticed. Luce, you've been getting closer to that boy lately, haven't you? Lucette nodded happily. Yes, he's easy to get along with and knows a lot, so we have fun playing together. The woman was curious. Then will you go to the festival with him this year? This caught Lucette's attention. Festival? Chelsea reiterated. You said you wanted to participate in the quiz competition. Then she remembered. The Rodante Festival is a festival where people can participate in various activities with friends. The participation rules differ depending on the event, and the quiz competition is only for teenagers aged 13 to 17. In her mind, she thought, but why does it have to be the quiz competition? Suddenly, Lucette noticed something. She asked herself, is it because the prize for the champion is a trip to the capital? That must be it. If you've been living in a mountain village like this, you'd naturally be curious about the capital. Her expression gradually became flat. But I'm not interested in that. Lucette thought silently. What if I'm having fun and suddenly get caught up in the unfortunate adversities that happen in the novel? Then I'll become that pitiful person who gets mistaken for someone else. Lucette immediately refused. I finally found this piece. I don't want to risk it. The numbers under the advertisement caught Lucette's attention. Wait, the prize money for second place is 2.5 million gold coins? She smiled brightly. That's a lot of money, enough for my mom and me to live for a while without worrying about food and clothing. Lucette continued to calculate. If I participate with Lev, maybe we can get second place. She imagined the scene. Team Luce, what a shame. Your final score is second place. Levinas was confused. Luce, why didn't you write the answer to the last question? Lucette explained with a smile. That's because my goal from the beginning was just this prize. She quickly announced, with this money, we'll be rich. Leviticus, thinking about this, Lucette was excited. I'll have to bribe him with my mom's stew. Only then will he be unable to refuse me. The light coming from the house caught her attention. Lucette's expression was curious. Why is there a light on at Lev's house? Meanwhile, Levinas had a cut on his hand. Radom advised, please do not be alarmed by such a small wound, Your Highness. This man was Radom, a royal magician. He continued to announce, everything Your Highness plans in your mind will be reflected in this gem. So please stop having these meaningless, rebellious thoughts. His expression was calm. What Your Highness needs to do now is to live quietly, as if you are already dead in this place. Radom reached out to Levinas. I hope my advice is helpful to you. I will heal your wound. He realized something. As long as I do that, it will be fine, right? The man nodded in affirmation. Yes, I will come and see you again. Lucette's voice rang out. Lev, are you home? He reflexively turned his head at once. Radom was curious. You've made a friend so quickly. Levinas reminded him coldly. It's none of your business. Get out. The man took a step forward. I'm very curious to know who it is that someone as picky as Your Highness would allow them to stay by your side. Suddenly, he stopped the man. His expression completely changed. Don't make me repeat myself over and over again. Get out. The man felt a little regretful. Yes, Your Highness. Since it is your command, I will do as you say. Meanwhile, Radom disappeared from spot. But please remember, His Majesty the Emperor is not such a generous person. Making a small village like this disappear forever is no big deal. Seeing him leave, Levinas glanced behind him. He walked forward and called out, Hey, Luce. She turned to look at him. Lev? Levinas' expression turned sad. I'm sorry. Did I make you wait long? He thought silently. She doesn't look happy. Is it because she waited too long for me? Levinas walked closer and called out, Hey, Luce. Lucette was suddenly silent. Lev, you. He realized something was wrong. If it's not that, could it be that she heard the conversation between me and Radom? Lucette approached worriedly and asked, What happened to your sleeve? Are you hurt somewhere? She sighed and added, How strange. You must have bumped into something dirty. So, your sleeve just got dirty, right? Lucette was relieved. It seemed she hadn't heard the previous conversation. He smiled and asked, You thought I was hurt, so you were worried about me? She nodded in confirmation. Of course I was worried about you. I thought your sleeve was covered in blood. What did you do to get your sleeve so dirty? Lavina's explained, "It's nothing. I'm sorry for making you worry." Lucette pointed in a direction and said, "Don't apologize to me again, and you absolutely must not get hurt again. I brought some stew my mom made. Let's eat together." Suddenly, she grew curious. "By the way, what were you doing in your room just now?" Lavina's informed her, "Just studying something." He watched her silently, thinking to himself, "I feel so happy when I'm with Luce." But Lucette was still joking. "I see you were so focused you didn't even hear me calling you." In Lavina's mind, he thought silently, "If she knows too much, she'll definitely be in danger." Suddenly he proposed, "Luce, I want to ask you for a favor. From now on, could you please not go up to the second floor of my house?" Lucette smiled and replied, "The second floor? All right, since you've said so, I won't go there." She then reminded him, "In exchange, I also have a favor to ask of you, and that is to please pay attention to my knocking. I was waiting for a long time." He was a bit flustered. "I'm sorry. I'll pay attention." Suddenly Lucette interrupted, "So, you have to come out and open the door for me before I knock for the 10th time, okay?" Lavina's nodded to her without hesitation. 10 times? I understand. I promise you." She continued to inform him, "Very well. There's one more thing I'd like you to help me with." Lucette was full of anticipation. "At the upcoming Rodante Festival, please join the knowledge competition with me." He picked up a paper. "Knowledge competition?" She nodded in confirmation. "If you want to enter that competition, you need a teammate to join with." Lucette continued to propose, "It would be great if Lavina's agrees to join the competition with me." Suddenly Lavina's blushed. "Hey, Luce, I don't think I'm suited for that competition." She still didn't understand what was happening. "Why not?" Lucette comforted him. "You can definitely win a prize. Are you worried about not getting first place?" He was very flustered. "Well," she gently explained, "you don't need to feel so much pressure." Seeing this, Lucette sighed regretfully. "If you don't like it, feel free to just refuse." She continued, "I'll go ask Dominic to help me." This made Lavina's feel regretful. "Will someone else take my place by Luce's side?" "I don't like that at all." He smiled and quickly announced, "No, I'll join with you, Luce. I'll prepare hard for the competition." She was overjoyed. "Really? That's great. Thank you, Leviticus." In Lavina's heart, he was blooming with joy. "Although I'm not very confident, I'll do my best." She sighed and repeated, "I told you you're more than good enough. Let's work hard together." The day of the festival arrived. Lucette walked forward cheerfully. "This is great. I've been waiting for this day for so long." She called out happily, "Lev, I'm ready." Lavina's looked like a different person. "I'm here, Luce. Let's go." She was suddenly confused. Why is he dressed so formally today? The two looked at each other. This is the first time I've seen him dressed like this. Is Lavina's looking forward to this festival as much as I am? Suddenly Lavina's adjusted his clothes. "Do I look strange?" Lucette shook her head and praised him. "Not at all. You look very handsome." But she looked outside. "Won't it be too hot to wear a suit today?" At the same time, she quickly opened his wardrobe. "It's okay. I think you should at least have one set of casual clothes." Lucette's mood gradually sank. "How come all your clothes are only plaid patterns?" She thought to herself, "I think you'll be hot in that outfit." Lucette continued to ask, "Lev, are these really all the clothes you have?" Lavina's nodded in confirmation. "These are all my clothes." She continued to search. "Even so, there must be something worth wearing. Try this one." Finally, he finished changing. "How do I look, Luce? Is it okay?" Lucette praised him continuously. "It really suits you. This one is thin, so it probably won't be hot." He smiled and waited. "Do you like it?" She nodded in confirmation. "Of course. How could it be so perfect?" Immediately after, he took a step closer. "I'm glad. I also won't wear clothes that Luce likes." These words stunned Lucette. What is he saying? If someone heard that, they would misunderstand. She immediately walked forward. "Lev, your hair is all messy. Let me fix it for you." He sat obediently without moving. "I understand." Lucette carefully reached out her hand, thinking, he's really like this everywhere. He can't always be like this. Seeing him close his eyes caught her attention. Lavina's was confused. "What's wrong? Is there something on my face?" Lucette quickly shook her head. "It's nothing." She thought to herself, his glasses don't seem to have a prescription. "Is that so?" He informed her, "Luce, let's hurry. The carriage seems to have arrived." After arriving, Lucette instructed, "Here, wear this. My mom made it for you." Lavina's nodded in agreement. "Thank you." A voice called out, "Luce." Lucette turned her head in surprise. "Dominic." He walked forward curiously. "What's this? Are you two planning to go to the festival together too?" His expression was regretful. "I thought you were going with me." Lucette smiled and shook her head. "I'm sorry," but he remained friendly. "Although I'm a bit disappointed, it can't be helped. I'm Dominic. What's your name?" He introduced himself, Levinus. Dominic was curious. Levinus? Luce just called you Leviticus. He quickly reiterated, please call me Levinus. He didn't forget to add, if Luce is bothering you, please let me know. I'll teach you how to play soccer and take you to scenic places. Luce sighed and informed him, what are you talking about? I've never bothered him. Suddenly Levinus declared, no, the atmosphere here became a bit tense. That's not true. Dominic immediately turned and walked away. All right, have it your way. You two are so annoying. Lucette called after Dominic from behind. Seeing this, Levinus reminded her, Luce, let's get on the carriage now. The two then boarded the carriage. Lucette still felt very curious. Why was Levinus so cold to Dominic? He didn't even let him use his nickname. She glanced at him. Is he still shy around strangers? Levinus asked gently, Luce, would you like a cookie? She nodded happily. Yes, please. He didn't forget to explain. I remember you enjoyed them before, so I prepared them for you. Lucette was ecstatic. Really? That's so touching. The two enjoyed the cookies. That's right. Levinus also needed time to adjust. The carriage continued on its way. Lucette looked out the window contentedly. But after only a few minutes, she felt sleepy. Seeing this, Levinus reminded her, Luce, if you're tired, you should get some sleep. She slowly closed her eyes. All right then. Then she gently leaned on his shoulder. Just for a little while. Seeing her asleep, Levinus began to speak. If you want me to be friends with that friend named Dominic, I'll do it. As long as it's you who asks, whether it's joining a competition or anything else, I can do it. But that name, I only allow you to call me by it. He thought to himself, because the person who calls that name will become its master. Lucette's face brightened. Lev. He leaned closer and whispered, and that name, I reserve it only for you. Lucette remained fast asleep, knowing nothing. The scene shifts to the imperial palace in the capital of the Vladan Empire. At this moment, Delmar runs hastily into the room. He pushed open the main doors and ran inside, his voice a bit rushed. Radom, Delmar asked worriedly, what should I do? Brother Aurelio is missing. He is the sole heir of the current Emperor Delmar, Abel Hadassah. His voice kept sounding, I asked Mother, but she didn't answer me. Radom, please think of something. Radom gently placed a hand on his chest. Your Highness, what can I do for you? Delmar quickly pleaded, please take me to my brother. He sighed and said, the Grand Prince has no reason to be missing, Your Highness. He continued to advise, I don't know. Please quickly take me to my brother. His expression gradually changed. I don't know if the Grand Prince will welcome you. This made him confidently place a hand on his chest. Of course he will. My brother will definitely miss me. Suddenly Radom was surprised. Is that so? He raised his hand in the air. All right, I will take you to see the Grand Prince. The surroundings of Delmar began to change. You absolutely must not take off this cloak, all right? It is a magical item that will allow you to return to the palace instantly if your life is threatened. He was still confused. Why do I need this to see my brother? He continued to inform. It is a safety device. I hope you have a pleasant time. Delmar slowly floated into the air. A safety device? Where am I going that I would need this? He wanted to say more. Wait, Radom, wait. In the end, he completely disappeared from this place. Radom's expression appeared extremely calm. He contentedly took a sip of tea. At the same time, he reassured himself, I won't be punished for this, right? It seems Radom knows something. The poor little prince. Lucette and Levinus are still walking together happily. Lucette kept exclaiming from the side, the festival is really so much fun. She remembered the dart game from earlier, which she had been praising. When they got to the Wheel of Fortune, Lucette clapped and cheered. First place. Next was the treasure hunt, and her expression was stunned. You've already found it? Lucette said happily. Lev, thanks to you, I've received so many gifts, bought a lot of books, and even had ice cream. I'm so happy. Suddenly she grew curious, but these gifts, are you really going to give them all to me? I feel bad being the only one to take them. Levinus smiled and informed her. Of course I'm giving them all to you, Luce. Just seeing you happy is enough. These words surprised her. Lev, he's saying things that are easy to misunderstand again. Lucette's heart suddenly skipped a beat. She told herself, that's not right. I must be too sensitive. Lucette continued to offer a gift. Then Lev, please keep this snow globe for me. This gesture surprised Levinus. This is the one you wanted the most. She smiled brightly. That's exactly why I want to give it to you. I hope that when you see this, you'll immediately remember today. This stunned him. remember the memories between me and Luce? He immediately took the gift. All right, since you've said so, I'll keep it for you, so that you can remember today anytime. A man's voice rang out. From now on, we will begin accepting registrations for the competition. All contestants, please come over here. Lavina's quickly remembered. Luce, what is your goal for today? Lucette continued to inform him. Second place. I want to get second place. No more, no less. He was curious why. He didn't forget to add, if it's you, you could probably get first place. This sentence made Lucette laugh. You're really, she gently explained. First place is good, of course, but don't you think it's a lot of pressure? I think second place is also very good. Second place is enough to satisfy me. Lavina's listened silently. Second place is enough to satisfy you? He thought to himself, until now in everything, I've always thought I had to get first place. So, even if it's not perfect, it's okay as long as I'm satisfied. Lucette turned her head and said, I don't care about the first place prize, that travel voucher to the capital. He nodded in agreement. I don't care either. She smiled and replied, as expected, we know each other well. Suddenly at this moment, she remembered something. Lucette looked at the shop in front of her. Oh right, my mom seems to have been at the general store for a long time. She turned her head and instructed, Lev, I forgot something my mom asked me to do. Why don't you go wait in line first? I'll be right back. Lavina's nodded in agreement. Okay, go ahead. He didn't forget to wave. See you later, Luce. Lucette nodded. Okay. Then he looked towards the registration area for the Rodante knowledge competition. The scene here was extremely lively. Suddenly Lavina's felt a bit down. When will Luce be back? A familiar voice caught his attention. Why is no one answering me? Can't you hear me? Delmar kept asking. Wait, it's impossible that no one can see him. He tried to look around. A boy with black hair and red eyes. Have you never seen someone like that? Lavina stared blankly at the boy's figure. Is that Delmar? He didn't know what to do. Why is he here? He's even looking for me. Delmar was still making a scene, and because he was tall, he was easy to spot. Don't lie to me. Tell me the truth. Where is my brother now? Suddenly, a hand landed on his shoulder. Lavina's expression changed completely. Delmar, what are you doing here? He smiled brightly. Brother. After that, the two went to another place. Delmar naively kept asking, have you been well? You suddenly disappeared. I missed you so much. Lavina's turned his head. How did you get here? He smiled and explained, I begged Radom to bring me. His expression was cold. Why? His face was beaming with joy. Because I really wanted to see you. Delmar quickly hugged Lavina's tightly. I really missed you, brother Aurelio. His real name was Aurelio Lavina's Hadassah, the name of the prince who was exiled for being an illegitimate child. This made him feel helpless. That name I abandoned. Aurelio sighed. So it was you. You didn't look down on an illegitimate child like me. Delmar didn't pay attention to his expression. Of course, regardless of the royal laws, I still like you. He didn't seem to care. All right, do as you please, since no one dares to scold you. His voice carried a hint of reproach. But you know, if you break the rules, the one who gets scolded will be me, not you. He still didn't understand what was happening. Yes. Aurelio continued to look at him. Don't pretend you don't know anything. Think about why I came here. If they find out you're here, I'll be forced to leave for another place. He asked somewhat uncomfortably. Where would that be? Will the next place be hell? This gesture made Delmar very flustered. He immediately took a step back and informed him, I'm not complaining about you. Aurelio suddenly recalled a memory. I was pushed here, but I like this place more than I expected. No, on the contrary, it's much better here than the palace. He kept pleading, I don't understand what you're saying at all, brother. Come back to the palace with me. I'll go beg father. He didn't seem to care much. Unbelievable. It seems you want me to be punished. Aurelio repeated coldly, Go back, Delmar. He hurriedly shouted, Brother, but Delmar still didn't give up. I understand. It's because I came too suddenly today, right? I'll come see you more formally next time. He continued to inform him. Anyway, you'll get lonely soon in a strange place. It seems you're deliberately not understanding what I'm saying. But his expression had already become completely furious. Don't come here. I don't want to see you again. There won't be a next time. I'm warning you. This series of actions made him freeze. Brother, a voice called out, Lev. Lucette appeared in this place. She said with a smile, So you were here. I've been looking for you. At the same time, Lucette reminded him, What are you doing here? The competition is about to start. Aurelio turned his head to look at Luce, and he hurriedly explained, There's a lost child, so I was helping him with directions. Then Aurelio left the area. Go on. Hurry up. Delmar stammered and nodded. Thank you, I'll leave now. Lucette waved goodbye. Be careful, kid. Aurelio began to speak. I'm sorry for leaving on my own. She smiled and explained, "It's okay. I've already registered." He seemed surprised. "You have?" Delmar muttered to himself. He's changed. He thought to himself, but why did the cloak activate at this moment? Radom said this cloak would activate when I'm in danger. This confused him. Could it be that he was wary of me? Delmar turned to look behind him. What could be the reason? Afterwards, Aurelio felt regretful. "I'm sorry, Luce. It's all because of me." The competition had already started. Lucette gently comforted him. "It's okay. It's because you were helping a lost child. We can make up for it with our skills." She quickly pointed in another direction. "The timing is just right. Let's go, Leviticus." His action caught her attention. "Lev, where are you going?" Lucette continued to shout. "That's the venue for the Mr. and Miss Rodante competition." Aurelio turned his head in surprise. She sighed. "Anyway, this is the venue for the knowledge competition." But Aurelio went to the venue for the Mr. and Miss Rodante competition. Lucette giggled. "It seems there was some misunderstanding here." Her face lit up. "No wonder I was so surprised then." She silently remembered. He wouldn't dress up like that just to attend a festival, would he? "Well, that's why I thought I should dress as prettily as possible." Thinking of this, Lucette sighed. "So he has a cute side like this too." She turned her head and said, "Anyway, it's a good thing we discovered the misunderstanding in time, right?" Aurelio nodded. "That's right. Let's hurry." Hearing the sound from inside caught Lucette's attention. "It's already started." The woman asked, "Are you two contestants for the knowledge competition?" She hurriedly nodded. "Yes. We're sorry we're late. Can we still participate in the competition?" Her expression gradually became thoughtful. "Normally, it's not allowed, but since there aren't many participants, all right then, you two can go in. In exchange, I'll count to 3 questions that were already asked as wrong answers for you." Lucette happily turned her head and announced, "That's great, Lev. We can participate in the competition after all." The woman added, "It's break time now, so you two should hurry inside." Lucette immediately nodded. "Okay, thank you very much. Let's go, Leviticus." Aurelio understood and nodded. "Okay, Luce, I'll do my best." The two quickly sat down in their seats. The surroundings caught Lucette's attention. "Let's see, there don't seem to be many participants." She continued to look around. "That person must be the Lord, right? He looks bored." She thought to herself, "With this kind of atmosphere, we can probably catch up." Lucette kept whispering, "Lev, don't worry too much, since you didn't practice beforehand." She wanted to say more. "I prepared very hard, so..." Seeing Aurelio being so enthusiastic surprised her. "Lev." The judge continued to announce, "Next, the answer to this question is..." Having such an excellent teammate made Lucette feel proud. Amazing. He's already answered 10 questions in a row correctly. She kept praising him. "You didn't even prepare anything beforehand. You're really amazing." He smiled and shook his head. "Just lucky." Lucette's eyes were filled with admiration. "Even so, these questions aren't simple. You know so much." She looked at the quiet guy in front. The woman was also surprised. "It's amazing. How does Levinas know so many things?" The judge quickly announced, "Now will be the final question." The story goes like this. A long time ago, a former emperor eliminated all the witches who were disrupting the empire. The judge's voice rang out. At that time, most of the other witches surrendered early on, but only one witch resisted until the very end. Although he was a traitor, His Majesty the Emperor still recognized his power and spirit and erected a stone monument in his memory. Who was the identity of this last witch? Aurelio's expression turned serious. The other couples quickly gathered to discuss. "This is the first time I've heard of this. Weren't all the witches killed off a long time ago? How would we know this?" Lucette continued to ask. "This question is quite difficult. Do you know the answer?" Aurelio nodded. "Yes, I know." He turned his head and said, "But if we answer this question correctly, we'll get first place. So let's not answer it." Lucette was very expectant. "All right, then tell me the answer." He was about to speak. "Okay, I'll only tell you. The answer is..." "We will now announce the answer." The judge announced, "The answer is..." His voice was somewhat cold. "Radnim." At the same time, the judge announced Radnim. The name of the last witch of the Vladan Empire was Radnim. This surprised Yoan. As expected, this seems to be a difficult question for the children. Rodante was about to say something more. Wait. The judge announced, "The Rodante knowledge competition has now concluded." He turned his head to look at the two. "Those two children haven't answered the question yet." Yoan smiled and explained, "Is that so?" "It was too far, so I couldn't hear clearly." It seems he had already guessed something. "Those two children answered almost all the previous questions correctly, right?" Rodante quickly ordered. "Johan, please try to investigate those two children for me." His expression became serious. Who knows, that information might be useful to us. Looking at the money pouch in front of her, Lucette was very happy. It's really gold coins. She kept jumping up and down. Thank you, Lev. This is all thanks to you. Aurelio smiled and said, Congratulations, Luce. What do you plan to do with the prize money? She quickly shared her idea. First, how about I buy my mom a new dress? She's always mending and wearing old clothes and says she's fine. Lucette continued, I've been thinking about this. My mom must want to wear pretty clothes too. Hearing this, Aurelio nodded. I see. He didn't forget to inform her. Then let's go buy a gift for your mom together. If you don't have enough money, just use mine. She asked, What are you talking about, Lev? Lucette's expression became a little displeased. We agreed to split the prize money evenly. Aurelio didn't seem to care much. Your mother usually cares for me a lot, so I want to take this opportunity to repay her with you. This made her feel a bit awkward. I'm grateful that you say that, but Lucette took a step closer and proposed. All right, because I feel guilty for always accepting your kindness, I've decided to grant you 3 wishes. His eyes gradually became vacant. Wishes. Lucette smiled and explained, I almost always only know how to accept your help, so I want to repay you too. His face turned red. If that's the case, then all right. The two continued walking. That's not right, Luce. You just took a big loss yourself. I've already received more than enough from you. Aurelio watched her silently. She was always so warm and affectionate towards him. No matter how many times I repay that kindness, it will never be enough. He cherished this friendship very much. I hope days like these can last for a very, very long time. In the shop, Lucette said, Look at these clothes. She was very excited. How can they be so pretty? This lace dress is so cute. I like this blouse too. Lucette clasped her hands together. As expected, shopping is the most fun thing in the world. She turned her head and said, Lev, look at this. Between these two, which one? The clothes were constantly being held up against Aurelio. What did you just say, Luce? Seeing this, she hurried closer. I'm sorry. Look at me. Let's take a break for a bit. He sighed and sat down. I'm sorry. Let me sit here for a moment. Lucette had an apologetic smile on her face. I was just so excited. It's been a long time since I've been shopping. Remembering something again caught her attention, and her expression gradually became pensive. This necklace is so beautiful. How much is this? It must be very expensive. Lucette reminded herself. No, I know what I plan to do. Never mind. She quickly ran in another direction. I'm going to look at all the clothes here. Lucette's previous action had caught Aurelio's attention. As they were leaving, she asked curiously, Lev, what did you find most fun today? He sighed and thought, it's hard to pick just one. Aurelio continued to explain, because this was my first time playing games, shopping, and entering a competition. Lucette was surprised. Really? All of them were your first time? She quickly proposed. Then let's go together again at the next festival. Hearing this, he took notice. The next festival? Seeing Aurelio seem a bit troubled made Lucette confused. You don't like the idea? He said something strange. Maybe by then, I won't be able to participate in the knowledge competition anymore. Lucette was, of course, still confused. She walked closer and comforted him. It's not like we go to the festival just for the knowledge competition. Of course, it would be nice to have more money, but Aurelio glanced at her. Is that so? Lucette nodded and said, Of course, thanks to you, I bought a lot of gifts, and I'm very satisfied. She gently explained, The reason I want to ask you to go again is because I'm very happy being with you. Just then, Aurelio spoke up. Hey, can I use one of the 3 wishes you said you'd grant me now? Seeing his action caught her attention. So soon. He quickly took out the earlier necklace. I noticed just now that you didn't buy anything for yourself. Aurelio handed it to her. I bought it because I thought it would suit you. Please accept it. Lucette looked at it in surprise. This is the necklace I was looking at just now. She still felt bad. This must have been expensive. How could you? Aurelio gently explained. I really wanted to give it to you. He continued to ask, May I put it on for you myself? This warm gesture surprised her. So he's been paying attention to me all this time. Lucette thought to herself. When did he notice? Realizing this made her very happy. I didn't buy anything for myself. If he wasn't paying attention, he definitely wouldn't have known. Aurelio continued to praise her. Now that you're wearing it, it really suits you, Luce. How could he be so thoughtful? She asked herself. He said gently, Thank you for accepting my gift. Lucette suddenly fell silent. But she was very excited. Quick, think of your next wish. That's the only way you'll continue to help me grant wishes, right? He looked up at her. Regarding the next wish, Aurelio had an innocent expression. What if I let you pat my head? Lucette quickly shook her head. That's not it. She took a step closer and patted his head. You can have me do that as many times as you want. Think of something more like a wish. Got it. He was like a little puppy. Okay, I will. Lucette thought to herself. I can never win against Leviticus. Aurelio suddenly spoke up. Thank you, Luce. She sighed and told him, I'm the one who should be saying thank you. Afterward, Lucette hurried home. I'm back. Is no one home? She felt a little disappointed. Mother isn't back yet. I wanted to show her the gift. She thought to herself, but that last question, I feel like I've seen it somewhere. Rodom, I've heard that name before. A shout from outside caught Lucette's attention. Miss Lucette. She immediately turned her head. Who is it? A strange voice called out. You won an award at the Rodante Knowledge Competition, right? She listened quietly. I was supposed to get your signature before giving you the prize, but I forgot. Every word sounded a bit strange. Please open the door for me. Lucette quickly went to the door. What is it? Why are you here at this hour? I hope there's no trouble. Realizing something was wrong, she became wary. Wait. Lucette's expression gradually changed. She immediately said, I'm sorry, sir, but I'm feeling very tired right now. Would you mind coming back tomorrow? The person outside left quickly. I see. Then I'll come back later today. Lucette breathed a sigh of relief. He's really gone. He seemed like a strange person. Finally, the man left. Suddenly, Rodom turned his head back. He revealed a strange smile. How sharp. Confronting her directly could be very interesting. Later, when Chelsea found out about this, she was furious. Impossible. To think something like this happened. Who would dare target my daughter? She said loudly. We have to catch him and teach him a good lesson. Lucette shook her head. I wasn't hurt, so it's okay, Mom. She changed the subject expectantly. Please open your gift first. Lavina's, and I picked it out carefully. The woman quickly examined the dress. It's so beautiful, truly praiseworthy. Realizing something, Chelsea was surprised. She continued to exclaim, but Luce, what about that necklace? Lucette smiled and informed her, Lavina's gave it to me. Her expression froze. Is that so? She was bewildered. What's wrong, Mom? Chelsea thought to herself, I can tell it's expensive just by looking at it. Could it be that the man came looking for her because the necklace is so valuable and then left? She glanced away. It's nothing. At the same time, she instructed, anyway, remember to lock the door carefully from now on. Starting tomorrow, I might be quite busy. Lucette was surprised. Busy? Chelsea nodded. Yes, that's right. Time passed, and my mother opened a general store. As time went on, our daily lives gradually changed. A customer asked, Hey, can you help me find this item? Hearing this, Lucette nodded in agreement. Okay, please wait a moment. I'll find it for you right away. She wiped her sweat. I've been busy all day today. She saw that Chelsea was still very happy. Goodbye, thank you. This startled Lucette. Even so, seeing my mother happy, I still felt very lucky. She mused to herself. After opening the store, she seems to have more energy. Soon, the store closed. All right, everyone worked hard today. Closing up, Dominic was confused. Why do you look so tired? Lucette sighed. You have no idea how busy the store was. She immediately slumped onto the table. First of all, my mother and Aunt Dahlia's general store is doing very well. He kept saying, I really want to help you, but I've been pretty busy lately. Lucette was surprised. Is it because you're busy at the blacksmith's? She continued to look at him. Secondly, Dominic had started learning a trade at the blacksmith's. That's right. He quickly took something out. I made this myself. Want to see? Lucette was curious. Where is it? Let me see. She stared blankly at the object, then burst out laughing. What is this? Dominic warned, don't make fun of me. I spent the whole day making it. His face gradually grew annoyed. It only turned out like this because I'm just started to learn. I'll make you a better one in the future. Lucette watched Dominic quietly. I'll tidy up here a bit. She thought to herself, Mother and Dominic are both completely focused on their work. At this moment, I really envy them. Just then, Chelsea announced, Kids, let's pack up and go home. Lucette remembered, at first, all I thought about was playing and eating. She took off her apron, but when I saw others working hard, I hesitated. Then she carefully put it away. Therefore, the third point is it's okay. Lucette's expression became determined. I'll work hard to find what I really want to do. I want to have a clear goal too. Then, Aurelio asked with concern, You must have had a hard time getting here. He handed Lucette a cup. It's cold here. Have some hot cocoa to warm up. She nodded and took it. Thank you, Leviticus. I'll drink it. A wound on his hand caught her attention. He's hurt, and I didn't even know. Aurelio suddenly called out, Hey, Luce. He asked expectantly, Did you look at the math summary I gave you? Lucette glanced away. I saw it. She thought to herself, After that day, I told Lavina's about my worries. Aurelio quickly suggested, Then how about we study together? He placed the papers on the table. All learning starts with theory. His face gradually grew enthusiastic. So let's start with math. It's the foundation of all subjects. Lucette, didn't know what to say. I don't think math is for me. She immediately refused. Wait, let's not do math today. Let's study something else. Aurelio was a little disappointed. Something else? Like what? Lucette's face lit up, and she immediately suggested physical education. Seeing this, Aurelio was surprised. Luce, your expression is completely different from when we were talking about math. Lucette laughed and said, sorry, I'm just not very interested in math. He lay down gently in the snow. Are you going to become an expert at throwing snowballs like this? She felt very happy. That wouldn't be so bad, right? What's so good about that? What's there to like? Suddenly, Aurelio turned to look at her. What I mean is, you'll be great at whatever you do, so I want you to do what you love. I feel the same way you do, Lucette. Continued, by the way, Lev, if there's anything you want to try, just let me know. You still have some wishes left, remember? He became a bit hesitant. Well, there's one thing. She quickly urged. Okay, please tell me. Aurelio looked at her. Tonight, may I treat you to dinner? The scene changed to the kitchen. Lucette peeked inside curiously. Her expression was a little puzzled. He suddenly has a hobby I never expected. Cooking. She quietly watched Aurelio's back. Did he always like to cook, or is he just trying something new? Suddenly, Lucette noticed the cookbooks on the table. She was bewildered. These books, they're all cookbooks. Could it be? Aurelio called out, Luce. Lucette quickly turned her head. Yes, did you call me? The sight before her made her freeze. He walked forward gently. Happy birthday. It was only then that Lucette realized. Did he prepare all this because it's my birthday today? He nodded in confirmation. Yes, you told me before. She was very surprised. I only mentioned it in passing. Aurelio explained, because it's your special day, I wanted to make all your favorite dishes. She was so moved that she quickly hugged him. Leviticus Lucette was all smiles. Thank you. This is the first time I've ever felt this happy. Aurelio nodded and said, actually, you seem to have had a lot on your mind lately. I'm glad this could comfort you. Lucette's thoughts surfaced. Lev, how can you be so gentle? Just you wait. I'll definitely find a way to repay you. Seeing Lucette fast asleep, Aurelio thought to himself, that's good. It seems Luce has gotten her spirits back. I was worried before because the preparations were so rushed. He immediately decided, next time, I'll definitely prepare something more thorough for you. Realizing something was wrong, Aurelio was surprised. He was bewildered. Who could it be? It's not the day for Radom to visit. Could it be Delmar? I already warned him. Just then, a familiar figure appeared. So you're awake, Aurelio. Aurelio's expression gradually changed. Why have you suddenly come here? He was stunned. Your Majesty, the Queen. Diana said coolly, it's been a long time. You've grown quite a bit, Aurelio. Aurelio hesitated. You think so? She continued, yes. Is it inconvenient living here? Or is there anything else you need? He immediately lowered his head. Thank you for the royal family's concern. I'm living very comfortably. His expression was worried. Why did she suddenly come to see me? Aurelio remembered. I thought I would never see her again. He fell into thought. If it's just for that reason, for the Queen herself to come here to find me. Diana continued. To be honest, I was flustered as well. Suddenly, Aurelio thought of Delmar. Is she still worried about the succession issue? She glanced at him. Indeed, I am worried about you. He reminded himself, I can't be careless. I can't needlessly expose my weaknesses. Aurelio replied, every decision made by the royal family must have its reasons. Diana stepped closer and asked, that's right. Aurelio, you don't have any serious illnesses, nor have you encountered any danger, have you? He nodded in confirmation. Yes, that's right, Your Majesty. Diana's gaze turned cold. All right, she turned to leave. I just came to check on your health. I'll be returning now. Aurelio was bewildered. Is there nothing else you wish to command of me? He thought to himself, she's leaving just like that? She didn't forget to add, no. Remember to take your medicine on time. Although surprised, he still nodded in agreement. Yes, I will take my medicine on time. His thoughts surfaced. Did she really just come to check on my health? Aurelio was utterly confused. Isn't being imprisoned in a village in a nameless valley enough? They act like they're visiting a zoo out of boredom. His life was too suffocating. They take turns showing up to monitor me. It's so annoying. It seems they just see me as an object for them to inspect. Then Aurelio pushed open the door and walked into the room. Lucette was still fast asleep, catching his attention. Luce. Aurelio knelt on one knee. As long as I can be by your side, I'm content. He gently touched her hand, so I won't allow this to be obstructed. He calculated in his mind, I need to come up with a countermeasure. His gaze gradually became fearsome. A countermeasure that can protect both me and Luce. I will absolutely not let Luce fall into danger. Then Aurelio asked with concern, Luce, are you okay? He continued, you haven't looked well for a while now. Lucette felt a bit awkward. He immediately stepped closer. Does it hurt? She quickly shook her head. No, it's fine. Lev, it's nothing serious. Lucette clutched her stomach. I think I ate too fast yesterday, so my stomach is a bit upset. Her voice was a little helpless. I probably ate too much yesterday, so I feel bloated. Do you have any digestive medicine? Aurelio felt bad. I'm sorry, Lucette. I didn't prepare that kind of medicine. She quickly shook her head. It's okay. You don't need to apologize. Then Lucette suggested, then let's go out and buy some. Okay, come with me to the pharmacy. He was still in a daze. A pharmacy? Seeing his hesitation, Lucette was surprised. What's wrong, Lev? Just then, Aurelio slowly announced, well, the situation in the village is a bit. The sight before them caught Lucette's attention. What? The wooden hut shocked her. Could it be like this? Lucette's spirits sank. She looked at the pharmacy. Is the pharmacy in our village this bad? The clerk quickly greeted them. Is the young lady's stomach upset? I'll make her a cup of honey water. Lucette immediately refused. No, thank you. I'm fine. Let's go now. She sighed as she walked. I get it. Our village doesn't have a proper pharmacy at all. Aurelio quickly said, I heard there's a good pharmacist in the village over that mountain. He felt a little guilty. I'm sorry, Lucette. I think you got sick from the food I made. Lucette shook her head and explained, no, the food you made was really delicious. It's not your fault. She continued, it's probably because I went to sleep too early last night. A walk will help with digestion. Lucette thought to herself, this era is really old. She remembered the medicine he was always taking. I didn't expect buying medicine to be this difficult. Lavina's is always taking medicine, but Lucette's expression gradually grew curious. Although I don't know what kind of medicine it is, it's probably not an ordinary one. She remembered that little bottle and how difficult it was to make. So, what if I learn how to make medicine? Suddenly, Lucette realized something. She thought pharmacology isn't well developed here, so there must be a demand. A smile appeared on her face, and this could help Lev too. Seeing this, Aurelio was surprised and noted, Luce, did something good happen? You look much more cheerful. She turned her head and said, Lev, I wanted to say what I really want to do is. Just then, Johann appeared abruptly. Wait, he hurried toward them. His eyes were full of anticipation. Are you the two who won the Rodante knowledge competition at the summer festival? Lucette immediately turned her head. Yes, we are, but who are you? Johann brightly placed a hand on his chest and explained, I've finally found you. It's a pleasure to meet you. I am Johann, Lord Rodante's assistant. He continued walking toward them. Could I ask for a moment of your time now? Please come with me. Lucette was very suspicious. Where are we going? If this is about the prize money, we've already spent it all and can't return it. Her naive words made him laugh. Prize money? It's not about that. Johann continued. It's because Lord Rodante wishes to see you. Lucette called out, Hey, Mr. Assistant Johann. He turned his head to look. What is it? She asked suspiciously. Why does the Lord suddenly want to see us? Johann was all smiles. I've already said, you'll find out when you get there. Lucette thought. He did not say that. She felt worried. Maybe. Lucette seemed to have guessed something. Is it because of what happened at the festival? She remembered Aurelio's words. That was Radnam, she thought, but he only whispered it to me. Johann quickly reassured them. You don't need to be so nervous. Relax. It looks like we're almost there. That's Rodante Castle. Looking out the window, Aurelio was lost in thought. He muttered to himself, could the Lord have discovered my identity? His expression gradually grew worried. No, that's impossible. They would never imprison me in a place connected to the imperial palace. Aurelio quickly composed himself. Calm down. I need to take my medicine. Then he reached into his pocket. Damn it, I forgot my medicine. Lucette turned to look. Lev, what's wrong? You don't look well. He stammered. Really? I think I'm probably just carsick. But Aurelio still explained, I'm probably just a little nervous about meeting the Lord. She grew worried. Really? Are you feeling unwell somewhere? He nodded in confirmation. Yeah, I'm fine. Don't worry too much. He thought, I hope nothing unusual happens. Seeing the two of them, Rodante said, So you're Lucette and Lavina's, correct? You must be tired from the long journey. It's a pleasure to meet you. Lucette bowed. Greetings to the Lord. It is my honor to meet you like this. He immediately waved his hand. You're being too formal. Young lady. He was all smiles. Come, let's talk over some tea and snacks. The situation stunned everyone. Lucette felt very surprised. There's hot tea and even dessert. It seems he's really welcoming us. She was confused. What on earth does he want to talk about to summon people like us who live in the outskirts all the way here? Rodante turned to look at the two of them. Lucette, Lavina's. He asked probingly. You two answered the final question correctly in last summer's knowledge competition, right? Lucette answered very cautiously. Yes, we saw something similar in a book, but because we weren't sure, we We didn't write down the answer. He nodded in approval. Indeed. In fact, not many people know about that mage. Lucette was a little flustered. Really? Meanwhile, Rodante made a speculation. Only two kinds of people would be interested in that. Either children from noble families or very studious children. He took a gentle sip of his tea. So which is it? The next question stunned them. Are you too interested in studying? Rodante quickly followed up. You don't plan on going to the capital when you grow up, do you? Seeing them shake their heads, he was ecstatic. That's it. Wonderful. He reached out and took Lucette's hand. We finally found you, Rodante's precious talents. His voice grew excited. Is there anything else you've wanted to learn during this time? Tell me, and we will support you with all our might. She still didn't understand. What do you mean, sir? At this, Johann wiped away a tear sadly. Actually, we've been searching for talent for Rodante all this time. He told the story. However, after those people complete their studies, they often move to the capital, just when we couldn't find any more children to teach. After speaking, he looked at the two of them. I met you two exceptionally bright people at the knowledge competition. Rodante also quickly explained, I've grown very tired looking for you all this time. Anything at all, be it teachers or books, we will find them for you. Lucette remained skeptical. Anything at all, right? Then she decided to speak up anyway. A little while ago, I realized that Rodante doesn't have a single decent pharmacy. He was surprised to hear this. A pharmacy? Lucette nodded in confirmation. Yes. If you want to recover quickly, you have to take different kinds of medicine at the same time. I was frustrated because there was nowhere to buy them. She said without hesitation, so I want to study pharmacology. Then Lucette sighed. For some reason, I feel like today is going to be a long day. Aurelio nodded. That's right. A lot of things we couldn't have predicted have happened. Her face became animated. Yeah, the subjects you said you wanted to learn were also beyond my expectations. Suddenly she grew curious. Magical techniques and martial arts. When did you get interested in those? Aurelio explained. It's always good to learn more things if you have the chance. What happened today made Lucette very excited. This is great. I'm feeling motivated. Let's work hard and study together. He nodded in agreement. Let's work hard together. Suddenly he turned and said, Oh, sorry, but I have to head home first today. Okay, can you get back on your own? She smiled and nodded. Of course. Be careful on your way back, Leviticus. See you later. Seeing Aurelio asked someone to accompany him as he left made her worry. She thought, for some reason, he doesn't look energetic at all. Lucette hurriedly called out, Lev, are you okay? I'll walk you home. Seeing he didn't react, she worried. He's not so far away that he can't hear me, is he? Lucette remained standing there, watching him leave. Goodness, his ears are so red. He's clearly sick with something. Afterward, she went to Aurelio's house. Lev, are you in there? Open the door for me. She suddenly felt worried. He had promised before that he would open the door before my 10th knock. The door opened immediately. Sorry for the intrusion. Lucette looked around the house. Why is it so quiet inside? Aurelio's pained groans sounded out. She seemed to realize something. She rushed up to the second floor. Seeing Aurelio's familiar figure, she froze. Lucette hurriedly cried out, Goodness, Lev. His face was terribly pale. Wake up. He was helplessly lost in thought. I can't see anything. It was as if something was covering his eyes, and he couldn't move either. Aurelio felt hopeless. I'm being punished right now. He subconsciously turned his head to look. Someone. If it were a night, the footsteps would be heavy. A maid's footsteps would be light, he thought. Aurelio tried to calm himself. Delmar's footsteps are heavy. The Emperor would never come for me. He kept guessing. Radom probably wouldn't make footsteps in the palace. There was only one person whose footsteps would be so cautious. Suddenly, Aurelio's birth mother appeared. Your Highness, she sighed sorrowfully. As long as I remain here, my humble origins will surely become a shackle for you. Aurelio quickly shook his head. No, that's not it. Mother. Her gaze gradually became helpless. I failed to be a mother who could protect her son, so how could I bear to cause you more trouble? Although he tried to protest, it was all in vain. What trouble? What are you talking about? I don't like this. Aurelio's mother suddenly turned to leave. I should go now. He pleaded desperately. Don't leave me alone in this lonely place. He felt despair in his heart. Mother, it's cold and scary here. Please take me with you. But she announced coolly, live on happily. Then she left. Aurelio was still trembling. Mother. Lucette had been watching over him the whole time. He's getting hotter, she thought. This won't do. I have to go get someone. As she prepared to leave, he reached out and stopped her. Don't go. Lucette was surprised and turned her head. Huh? Aurelio was in a terrible state. Don't leave me. She sighed in disappointment. What the? I thought you were awake. Seeing him in so much pain made her sad too. Lucette gently comforted him. You don't need to be afraid. She didn't know what he was going through. Because I will absolutely never leave you, so don't worry. Lucette continued to look for something. I need something to help him cool down. Just then, the small bottle caught Lucette's attention. She looked at the small bottle curiously. That bottle. Lucette smiled, opening it. Levinas carries this with him every day. How lucky. If I feed this to him, then? She was troubled. Seriously, this medicine is too thick. At this rate, I can't feed it to him properly. Aurelio kept pleading, don't go. Her expression gradually became hesitant, unsure of what to do. Lucette looked at Aurelio. Lev, do you trust me? She thought, this won't do. I feel too bad for Leviticus. And so, she took a sip of the medicine from the bottle. Then, she fed him the medicine mouth to mouth. But I can't let anything happen to him. Her movements were very gentle. After a moment, Lucette let out a soft breath. She checked Aurelio's current condition. Thank goodness. His fever seems to have gone down. Her expression was a little puzzled. This is truly a miracle medicine. I can't believe he recovered so quickly. Does it contain some kind of soothing ingredient? Suddenly, Lucette froze. Why can't I see clearly anymore? She slowly collapsed. I have to watch over Levinas until he wakes up. Some time passed. Aurelio sat up slowly, holding his head. My head hurts. Why am I lying here? Seeing her beside him, he was surprised. Luce? He quickly covered his mouth. I don't remember taking the medicine myself, right? There's a bitter taste in my mouth. He looked touched. Luce, did you give me the medicine? Realizing something was wrong, Aurelio froze. Wait, this is... He remembered what Radam had said. Your Highness, this medicine can only be used by you, as it is specially formulated for your constitution. Aurelio's expression changed instantly. So for others, it could be a poison. He shouted urgently, Luce, please wake up. Seeing Lucette didn't respond, he was worried. Please open your eyes, Luce. The scene changed to the Imperial Palace, the capital of the Vladan Empire. The Emperor asked, is Count Portino strengthening his army? A subordinate nodded. Yes, Your Majesty. Radam continued to report, this is likely to control the powers in the West. His gaze was somewhat cold. I'm not pleased at all. It seems he is secretly expanding his territory. He quickly ordered, Radam, go and dispose of him. The Emperor's voice was terrifying. The seeds that threaten my throne must be pulled out by the roots. He looked ahead. There is nothing more mediocre than those who fail to recognize their own place. This time, the Emperor asked, isn't that right, Diana? He seemed to remember something. Speaking of which, I haven't heard her report on the recent reconnaissance trip yet. Diana asked, were you curious about, Your Majesty? The Emperor's gaze swept over to her. There's only one thing I'm curious about. An ominous premonition made her worry. Do you think he is the seed of disaster that threatens my position? She remembered Aurelio, the name of the forgotten prince. He was exiled to the remote village of Sinan because, despite being of royal descent, he was an illegitimate child. He was just a pitiful child, and no one knew why Aurelio had to leave the imperial palace. The question was it because he was the illegitimate son of a mistress that Aurelio was too innocent? Or was it because he was as intelligent and sensitive as his mother? Diana thought to herself, one thing was certain. After Aurelio was born, a mage had given a prophecy. She quickly remembered that the Emperor had acknowledged it as well. Then Diana calmly announced, Your Majesty, please do not worry too much. Aurelio seems to like it there. Radam, who was at the side, also bowed and said, The Empress is right, Your Majesty. He seems to be very fond of the village. He reported cheerfully. He has already made friends and is living well. Seeing this, the Emperor sighed. As long as he doesn't have any thoughts that are against me, I don't care how well he lives. She knew in her heart that the Emperor would stop at nothing for power. The Emperor was not to be trusted, yet he was definitely not the one who truly held imperial power. Anyone who dared to covet the throne would be eliminated by him. He was capable of anything. Diana thought to herself, I will never let that happen to me. She looked at her son. Although Delmar is still young, I cannot predict when the Emperor might change his mind. Her resolve hardened. I must protect this position and my son. In the room, Aurelio was still pleading, Luce, please wake up, open your eyes. He didn't know what to do. Please, I'm begging you. He blamed himself in his heart. It's my fault. I should have told her the medicine was dangerous. Aurelio's expression froze. If something happens to Lucette because of me, then... Just then, Lucette slowly opened her eyes. She sat up immediately. I fell asleep. Aurelio was startled. Luce. She rubbed her face. Lev, you're awake. That's great. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to come up to the second floor without permission. But there was a hint of warmth in her voice. I was worried about you, so I followed you up. Lucette. continued to recount. Seeing you unconscious, I gave you the medicine. It was hard to pour out, and it tasted very bitter. Aurelio was confused. How did you know? She explained with some embarrassment. Actually, I fed it to you directly. I'm sorry. The situation was too urgent. He stepped forward and hugged her. I'm so glad you're okay. His voice trembled slightly. I thought I had made a mistake. I was afraid you would never wake up again. Lucette asked in surprise. Lev, were you scared? She narrated gently. I guess the medicine has ingredients that help calm the body. I suddenly felt very sleepy after drinking it. I don't understand why you always drink something so bitter and sticky. Seeing Aurelio's worried expression, she comforted him. I'm really fine, so please smile because when you're sad, I start to feel sad too. A sad smile appeared on her face. He thought to himself, the moment I thought I was going to lose you, I felt so scared and lonely. I could barely breathe. I will never let you be in danger again. Aurelio made up his mind. I will never let you slip away. Time shifted to the following week. At Rodante Castle, Johann cheerfully asked Lucette, are you ready? He approached excitedly. I never thought I'd be this nervous for the first lesson, and it's not even my class. It wasn't easy to get this person, so please study hard. Lucette smiled and promised, of course, I'm looking forward to knowing who that person is. I will study very hard, Mr. Assistant. She immediately took out a book. I can't believe I can actually study pharmacology. By the way, I can also research Lev's medicine now. She thought to herself, what question should I ask first? There are so many things I want to ask. Lucette quickly stood up. Hello, madam. From now on, please. She was about to say something more. Take good care of me. The stern expression caught her attention. The teacher. Lucette even felt a little scared. This person is. She didn't know what to say. My pharmacology teacher. The teacher quickly announced. Then let's begin the first lesson. Lucette hurriedly nodded. Please take good care of me, madam. She continued to look at the book. First, read the first chapter of the textbook to me. She was confused. The first chapter? Do you mean the overview of medicinal materials? She nodded. That's right. If you have any questions while reading, feel free to ask me. Lucette continued to look at the book in her hand. I've already read it all at home. No, I shouldn't be too hasty. Suddenly she grew curious. Madam, I have a question about mold, which is a type of plant that contains toxins. She voiced her thoughts. As far as I know, there are many different types of mold. Please explain the differences between the various types to me. Lucette was very focused. She muttered to herself, the hardest thing about self-studying is that the books only explain the basic concepts. Now that I have a teacher, I'm going to ask as many questions as I can. The teacher suddenly announced, you don't need to know that. Her expression was calm. They could be treated with the same antidote anyway. Lucette felt disappointed. Why is her explanation so vague? The teacher announced, we have finished reading the first chapter. Now let's start the practical exercise. She wondered to herself, is this really okay? After a while, the teacher asked, the incubation process ends when the leaves change. Lucette quickly explained, it's when the color changes and the smell becomes stronger. She nodded in agreement. Very good. Please try to check it. Aurelio quickly stood up. Yes. She checked the vial in her hand. It's transparent and the smell is strong. I think it's very well made. She was very satisfied. Now you can make the antidote yourself. That's all for today's lesson. Suddenly Lucette felt disappointed. Is it over already? But she was still polite. Thank you for your hard work, madam. Goodbye. Although she thought to herself, what a shame. I still have so many curious things I want to ask her. She seemed to realize that this seemed to be just a standard lesson. Lucette asked herself, does the teacher seem to know a lot, or is she dissatisfied with me? Johann appeared shortly after. Lucette, did the first lesson go well? Can you spare me a moment? Lucette turned to look at him. Assistant Johann. What is it? He was a little embarrassed. There's something I'd like to ask you. She immediately moved closer. You have something to ask me? Me? Johann lowered his voice. What I want to ask is about Levinas. Lucette was confused. Did Levinas get angry at you? He helplessly recounted what happened. It's like this. We haven't been able to find a teacher for Levinas yet. Feeling very sorry, I went to ask him. Johann remembered Lucette's face at that time. He said he didn't have any expectations of us, told me not to bother him, and to go back quickly. Her expression gradually turned sad. Levinas really said that. He was still crying. It's really my fault for making him wait so long. She stepped forward to comfort him. I know you care about him. Lucette then smiled. The Levinas I know isn't that harsh. There must be some misunderstanding. After the lesson, Lucette hurried home. She thought to herself, why would Levinas say such harsh words to the assistant? He's not someone who doesn't understand others. Suddenly, a voice came from behind her. Hey, Luce, where are you going? Lucette greeted him happily. Dominic suggested, you're on your way home, right? Let's walk together. Suddenly, she became curious. How's work at the blacksmith's? Is everything going well? He smiled and nodded, of course. Do you see this glorious wound here? His face was practically written with excitement. Before long, I'll be the best blacksmith in Sinan Village. You just wait and see. Lucette couldn't help but laugh. Little Dominic has grown up quite a bit. Remembering something surprised her. Weren't you just crying on Aunt Dahlia's skirt yesterday? Dominic was flustered. What are you talking about? He asked as he walked. Hey, can't you be quiet? What did I ever cry? Lucette quickly teased, still pretending you don't know. Aurelio stood to the side, watching the two of them laugh and joke around. He felt a little awkward. Lucette was surprised and turned to look at him. Lev, were you waiting for me? She quickly waved. See you later. He was curious. What were you and Dominic talking about just now? Lucette then recounted. We just ran into each other, so we said hello. He said he's been working at the blacksmith's these days. Remembering that made her curious. By the way, Lev, I heard you haven't been assigned a teacher yet. It must be tough studying on your own, right? Aurelio sighed. It's actually fine. I've always been self-taught. She continued to probe. Don't you get frustrated not being able to ask about things you're curious about? His expression was calm. I can figure it out by reading academic books. Then Lucette asked worriedly, but what about that? I actually think the assistant only came to you because he was worried. She didn't forget to explain. He seemed very worried because he couldn't find a teacher for you. He nodded. I see. He doesn't need to worry about me so much. Aurelio recounted, I was just worried that his workload would increase needlessly because of me. Lucette thought to herself, as I thought, the assistant misunderstood him. She quickly suggested, oh, let's invite Dominic along next time too, okay? Aurelio was confused. Why? Why bring that up all of a sudden? Lucette smiled and explained, Dominic is a good friend of mine too, no less than you are. She looked out the window. It would be great if you two got along. He's not the timid kid he used to be. Wouldn't it be more fun if the three of us hung out together? This made Aurelio pause for a few seconds. Luce, he then asked, do you like Dominic? Lucette nodded innocently. MHM, of course. He's a bit childish, but he's a very good friend. He pressed on, what about me? She replied cheerfully, of course. You're an important friend to me too. Why? Aurelio's voice suddenly became hoarse. Then, who is more special to you? She was very surprised by the question. Aurelio continued, suppose, if one of us disappeared. His expression became even stranger. Then, would you feel that the one who remained is more special to you? Lucette was very surprised. If one of you disappeared, would I feel the one who remained is special? Why are you suddenly saying this? He sighed and said, I just don't know what you would think. Aurelio continued, just pretend we're joking. Try to answer, what do you think? Lucette's expression was a bit troubled. First of all, I don't want to think about something like that. But that wasn't what she thought. Wouldn't the person who stays by my side be more special? A brilliant smile appeared on his face. Just as I thought, the person who stays by your side until the very end is the most special. Lucette looked out the window. No, I think the person who would feel more special to me would be the one who disappeared. He was suddenly surprised. Why? She continued to voice her thoughts. Because time passes and never returns, past memories become fond memories. When I remember someone who has left, there was a strange note in her voice. Don't we feel more longing for them? Aurelio was stunned for a few seconds. Feel more longing, Lucette said with a laugh. But I don't want either of you to disappear, because then I'd have no one left. Let's not make these kinds of jokes anymore, okay? He looked down sadly. Yeah, I'm sorry, I asked something useless. Lucette shook her head and comforted him. You're very special to me too. Can we go for a walk somewhere? He nodded happily. Of course we can. His gaze became strange again. I won't make you worry. Aurelio thought to himself, I will find a way to become the most special one. He said to himself and to Luce. Then Lucette said cheerfully, Lev, aren't you tired? I can go home by myself. He quickly explained, what are you talking about? I can't let you go home alone in this weather. She smiled and said, thanks to you. I'm home safe, so I'll go in now, okay? Just then, Dominic's voice rang out, Luce. He walked over and reminded her, why are you so late? I've been waiting for you for a long time. His expression was worried. Your roof has another hole in it. Lucette was once again shocked and surprised. Dominic stepped forward and announced, yeah, my mom told me to come get you. Come sleep at my place, okay? This scene made Aurelio very uncomfortable. He immediately grabbed her hand. Lucette turned her head in confusion. Leviticus. She said quickly, what's wrong? You're hurting my hand. Seeing that he still didn't move, she shouted, "Lev, let me go." Aurelio thought to himself, "Luce, I hate it when you're close to others. I want to be your only friend, to monopolize everything about you." His expression was very displeased. "I won't hand you over to anyone." Seeing this, Dominic was confused. "What are you two doing? Are you going to keep standing in the rain?" Suddenly, he became strange, then slowly let go of Lucette's hand. "Sorry for keeping you. Go on, Luce." She nodded in understanding. "MHM, see you later, Lev." She didn't forget to wave. "Be careful on your way home. Get home before dark, okay?" Aurelio quickly opened his umbrella. "MHM, see you later." His gaze turned cold. He asked himself, "What should I do to keep you by my side?" After getting inside, Dominic said, "The moment I stepped in, it started raining as if it was waiting for me." Lucette was perplexed. "Don't tell me my house is going to be flooded." He immediately replied, "Don't worry. If that happens, I'll help you fix it." Suddenly she remembered something. "Good idea. Hey, are there any books I haven't read?" He looked back at the pile. He didn't forget to say, "My older brother sent them back." Lucette was curious. "Your older brother?" Dominic nodded in confirmation. "Yeah, I heard he's coming home soon." He recounted. "He said the books were too heavy, so he sent them back first. They're all history books." Her eyes immediately lit up. "History books? Does your brother study history?" Dominic sighed and confirmed, "Yeah, that's right. He's always going on and on about it. It gives me a headache. Except for the stories about witches, the rest is not interesting at all." Lucette was surprised and understood. "Oh, that kind of story." He said what he knew. "How should I put it? Witches are special beings. They can't be killed by weapons like guns or knives. They use powerful magic, but they can't enter a house without permission." His expression was calm. "They trade human souls for magic." Lucette's eyes lit up. "Is there anything else? Like a more interesting story about the last witch?" This scene made Dominic not want to face it. "No, I don't know. I've only vaguely heard about it." Lucette sighed and complained, "What the heck? You don't know anything important." He immediately turned his face away. "If you're so curious, why don't you go ask your good friend? Doesn't he know everything?" She was surprised. "Are you talking about Lev? My good friend. You know him too. Why are you speaking so coldly?" Dominic turned and commented, "A nodding acquaintance. He wouldn't consider me his friend. When you're with him, haven't you seen that he completely ignores me?" Lucette was about to explain. "Ignores you?" "Lavina's isn't that kind of person." He continued, "Enough. I'm not so dense that I wouldn't notice." She seemed to realize something. Something similar had happened with assistant Yoan. For some reason, he was always being misunderstood. She was still thinking, Lavina's isn't such a mean boy. On the other side, Aurelio threw his umbrella on the ground. He walked, muttering to himself, "I don't want to let you go, but I can't keep you." He didn't even use the umbrella. "Only I can stay by Luce's side." His expression was very calm. "I must stay by your side." The teacher's voice rang out. "Now, for today's lesson, we will learn about painkillers." This was Rodante Castle. She taught sternly. Painkillers are divided into two categories: antipyretic analgesics, which help reduce fever, and anti-inflammatory analgesics, which help eliminate inflammation. Meanwhile, she was flipping through a book. For the details, please refer to the books in your spare time. Lucette was confused. "I've been studying for a week, and the format has always been like this. The teacher doesn't want to teach me." She immediately asked, "Yes, madam. I want to know the reason for the side effects." She sighed and continued to announce, "Even if you don't know that, it won't affect your business. Just give a crying child a piece of candy, and it will be fine." These words suddenly silenced Lucette. She decided to speak up. "Madam, I am not studying pharmacology to make money." Her expression gradually became firm. "I'm asking because I'm genuinely curious and want to know. If you know the answer, please tell me the correct one." The teacher was surprised to hear this. "Do you really want to become a pharmacist?" Lucette nodded in confirmation. "Yes, I really want to learn how to heal others." She seemed to understand something. "So that's how it is." Then she straightened her sleeves. "I don't understand why you want to walk such a difficult path." Suddenly, the teacher remembered the past. A long time ago, the image of a blonde woman appeared, was asked to treat a lady's skin disease. She did very well, and within a month, I successfully cured her. It was a treatment that the pharmacist in charge had failed. Bad things happened, but the price paid for the cure was terrible. Other people always criticized the teacher. She must be a witch. She clearly used magic. At that time, she felt extremely hopeless. Back in the present, the teacher was sad. Compared to the old days, pharmacists are still looked down upon now. She knew the path Lucette would have to face. To humans, treating diseases with medicine is no different from strange magic. She voiced her thoughts. You wouldn't want to be treated as a witch and be treated unfairly, would you? I just want to protect Lucette. I didn't expect to say all this so soon. Perhaps the teacher meant nothing else. If you understand what I've said, then it's fine if you don't come to class from the next lesson on. Lucette thought to herself, so that's how it is. This is why she has been treating me coldly until now. Looking at that scar, I can understand her attitude towards me all this time. She suddenly felt sad for her. Lucette immediately asked, but what if I still want to continue attending the lessons? The teacher was surprised. Don't you understand what I mean? She nodded in confirmation. I understand. But even so, I still want to continue studying pharmacology. Actually, a friend who is very important to me has a rare disease. She remembered Aurelio's expression. I want to cure that friend's illness. Her face became radiant, and I also know that pharmacology is not dangerous. The teacher at the side listened quietly. We should never give up the ability to save people. She then laughed. You remind me of when I first started this job. Then the teacher warned, I'm a very strict teacher, so you should be prepared from now on. Lucette nodded in understanding. That's fine. That's what I want too. She suddenly felt a sense of relief. Please take good care of me from now on, madam. Then Johann pushed open the door. Lucette, did the lesson go well? He ran in. Today's lesson seemed very lively, huh? Lucette then called out, sir. She recounted happily. That's right. I feel like the lessons have only just officially begun. I also feel that my relationship with the teacher has gotten closer. He felt relieved. That's really great. His face was filled with joy. I look forward to your future growth. Lucette nodded. I'll do my best, but Johann comforted her. It's okay. You don't need to feel too much pressure. Actually, most people are afraid of studying pharmacology. He was very happy, as long as you don't give up halfway. I'll be grateful enough for that. Suddenly, Lucette asked, people are afraid of pharmacology because of magic, aren't they? He sighed and nodded in confirmation. That's right, because people think pharmacology is the legacy of witches. But the Lord and I don't believe in such superstitious stuff. Johann remembered Aurelio's face. We place great importance on cultivating talent. His voice rang out. Not long ago, leprosy spread to the neighboring duchy of Peter. I heard many people died. At this point, Johann sighed. That was an incident that made us realize the importance of pharmacology once again. But he was still excited. So Lucette, please do your best to prepare for any sudden situations. I believe in you. Lucette smiled awkwardly. Are you putting too much pressure on me? Time shifted to the evening. Lucette complained. Today was really busy. She looked at the books on the table. In just one day, the number of books I need to read has increased. So many. Her expression was a bit tired. Should I be happy or sad? Lucette looked out the window. It seems the prejudice against magic here is very strong. She thought to herself, the people here really have a very bad feeling about magic. Lucette clearly felt the witches had all disappeared long ago. Right? Thinking about this gave her a headache. She immediately put the book on the table. I'm not going to think about this anymore. The important thing is that there are no more witches now. Now, her face became radiant. I live in an era that has nothing to do with principles. Lucette quickly lay down under the bed. She muttered to herself, I just need to eat well and live well. No more worrying needlessly. Lucette had no idea that Radom was watching in secret. Outside, he smiled in surprise. It seems there's some misunderstanding here. His expression was strange. Since this is quite interesting, I'll let her be for a while. On a cold, snowy day, Vincent complained it's too cold. I still have to work on a day like this. The child sighed and wondered, how much longer is Dad going to make me deliver letters? The child walked and searched. Who would send a letter to a remote village like this? Vincent quickly recognized the letter. Let me see. The next one is. The child picked it up and examined it. The envelope looked so expensive. His expression was a bit confused. Count Menelik. Vincent wondered to himself, why would a noble of this rank write to our village? His eyes widened. The recipient is Lucette's mother. Realizing something was wrong, the child was startled. How could a woman living in the countryside receive a letter from a noble family? Wait, doesn't this mean Lucette is also the Count's daughter? Vincent muttered to himself, impossible. Then he opened the letter to check. Seeing that there was nothing inside made him uncomfortable. What? There's nothing at all. How boring. Then Vincent threw the letter on the ground. That's right. If Luce were really a noble, she couldn't possibly stay in a countryside like this. The child sighed and complained. How disappointing. Just then, someone approached the letter. Radom quickly picked up the letter in his hand. His expression was somewhat calm. Look, he shamelessly threw away a letter that had an owner. What an impatient child, he said with a laugh. Of course, I'm also very grateful to you. Then Radom burned the letter. I should probably let everyone enjoy the peace for a little longer. The truth will come out sooner or later. On the other side, Lucette asked, the snow is so heavy. Should I sleep at your place and then go home? Aurelio quickly reminded her, your mother will worry. You already promised your mother. She suddenly felt worried. I don't know why mom is like this these days. She's been getting stricter with me lately. He stepped forward and announced, tell your mom not to worry too much. She smiled and looked at him. You say that as if you only walk me home at night. Night. Her face was radiant. You always walk me home. Lucette continued to recall. Last time, it was because of the rain. When the weather was nice, it was because the wind was blowing, and sometimes there was the scent of flowers. So I wanted to walk you home. And her gaze turned sad. The only time you went home first was because you were sick. Aurelio suddenly felt embarrassed. Really? He gently held her hand. I'm sorry. Actually, those were all just excuses. His face turned red. The truth is, I wanted to stay with you a little longer because I feel sad when you have to go home. These warm words caught Lucette's attention. She stepped forward and said cheerfully, we can always be by each other's side. Her expression was lighthearted. Lev, you're such a spoiled little boy. Lucette continued to pull his hand. I'm worried that if this continues, you'll faint alone on your way home again. Aurelio shook his head and explained, no, I've been in good health these days. I know not to overwork myself. Lucette laughed softly and replied, I know, I'll trust you. But if anything happens, you have to tell me. He sighed and nodded. I know, I promise you. Lucette immediately decided, great, then I'll go home by myself from here. It's almost home anyway. As she was about to leave, Aurelio called out, wait, Luce. Before you go, he took out a gift. Can you accept this? Because this is something I learned and made myself. It's a bit clumsy, but she still didn't understand what was happening. Huh? Her expression was innocent. What is this? Aurelio continued to instruct, open it when you're alone. I hope you like it. Time shifted to late at night. Lucette suddenly felt confused. What was he being so mysterious about? She was very surprised. This is... Lucette looked at the gift in her hand. Is it a pendant? She muttered to herself. Has Lavina's learned to make gems? Aurelio's voice rang out. Luce. Lucette seemed to realize something. She hurriedly asked Lev, is that your voice? He nodded in confirmation. It's me. Can you hear my voice clearly? Aurelio continued. I wanted to talk with you more, so I made this. It's a bit like I'm being needy, isn't it? Lucette was very surprised. What are you talking about? You know, I was just kidding. I like hearing your voice too. As it happens, I have something for you too. She gently announced, please try looking under your dining table. Aurelio noticed a strange box there. Lucette nodded and continued. That's the one. Please try opening it. I was planning to give you a surprise, but it just so happens that I received your gift too. The gift inside caught his attention. Lucette's warm voice rang out. I made this using what I learned in class. Although it's not as good as your medicine, it will be helpful for you too. He felt very confused. When did you make these? Lucette calmly explained, I made them during my free time and practice sessions. She added, by the way, remember to read the note, because I've written down the instructions for the medicine. Her voice rang out. They say it's very important to use the right medicine for the right illness, you understand? Aurelio replied, thank you, Luce. I feel like I've received a much bigger gift. He turned to look at his own medicine bottle. Speaking of which, what was the original purpose of the medicine you drank? Suddenly, Aurelio remembered that Radom had only said it was a medicine suitable for his condition, but had never told him why he was sick. At this thought, his head throbbed with a dull pain. Seeing his unusual appearance, Lucette was worried. Lev, what's wrong? Did something happen? He hurriedly shook his head. I'm fine, don't worry. Then Aurelio drank the bottle of medicine. What's going on? Every time I think about that medicine, my head hurts like it's about to explode. Seeing him motionless, Lucette felt scared. Why did you suddenly go silent? Don't tell me you fainted again. Answer me, Lev. Time moved to the next day. In Rodante Castle, Lucette did her homework while sighing. She still felt a little worried about Leviticus. Would he be okay? Then she quickly opened a book to check. Back to last night, Aurelio said, I'm sorry, Luce. You must have been worried. Lucette was confused. What happened? Are you in pain somewhere again? He hurriedly explained, I slipped and fell. Hearing this, she was even more confused. What? Lucette immediately scolded Lev. You idiot. You scared me to death. I thought you'd fainted again, so I was really tense. She sighed. Although Lavina's was a bit clumsy at first, as time went on, I became more and more uneasy leaving him alone. She thought to herself, next time I have to make more ointments. I have to prepare as many preventive medicines for him as possible. Lucette suddenly fell silent for a moment. She continued studying. All right, he said he's fine, so I should worry a little less. Lavina's isn't a child anymore. A strange sound rang out, catching her attention. Lucette glanced outside curiously. Is that the sound of fencing? She quickly went out to check. A little more gently. Johan was still teaching. Raise your shoulders a little. Relax. Lucette realized with surprise. So, it's a swordsmanship lesson. Her expression turned to curiosity. Lavina's is learning swordsmanship? She said happily. That's great. He's finally been assigned a teacher. The assistant must have gone through a lot of trouble. Suddenly, Lucette became worried. Will it be okay? He didn't seem to be in a good mood today. What if he overexerts himself? After a moment, Aurelio smiled and said, overexertion? Not at all. I was wondering why you came running here in such a hurry. He turned to look at Lucette. Thank you for worrying about me, Luce, but I'm really fine. She breathed a sigh of relief. That's good. Since this is the first lesson, I thought you were pushing yourself too hard. He was very surprised. First lesson? The man in front of her caught her attention. Isn't this your swordsmanship teacher? Lucette continued to comment. I just saw you two coordinating very well. It was very cool. You're already very skilled. Aurelio was about to say something else. Thank you for the compliment, but he was a bit embarrassed. This person is not my swordsmanship teacher. Lucette was surprised. Really? Then who is he? Aurelio turned and introduced. Let me introduce you. He is a knight close to the Lord. Franz smiled and introduced himself. My name is Franz. You must be Lucette, right? I've heard the lore mention you. You are both very outstanding children. I heard a boy wanted to learn swordsmanship, so I came to take a look, and I found his strength is quite good. Lucette shook her head and said, You're too kind. I'm just a beginner. He laughed in surprise. You're really humble. Have you really never held a sword before? That stance is clearly. Johan's voice rang out. Sir Franz. Johan ran over quickly. I've been looking for you. So this is where you were. Franz turned his head curiously. Johan, what is it? He continued to announce. The Lord is looking for you. Franz nodded after hearing this. The Lord? I see. I'll go right away. Johan smiled and looked at the two. So you two were together. Sorry, I have to take the night away. Lucette shook her head. If it's the Lord's business, then of course it's no problem. Franz waved to the two. Then Lavina, let's have a more formal spar next time. Goodbye, you two. Lucette also understood. Okay, goodbye, Mr. Franz. Franz then asked Johan, do we need to teach the daughter of a noble family? Johan didn't understand. Huh? What do you mean? Franz continued. I mean Lavina. He seems to have received advanced swordsmanship training. This made Johan suspicious. Huh? What do you mean? That boy is an orphan. His expression became serious. Impossible. Just a few clashes of blades were enough for me to be sure. He guessed something. He has been trained in the royal style of swordsmanship. Johan found it hard to believe. Huh? Franz continued to voice his thoughts. Even if he's not good at swordsmanship, he is by no means just a duke's son. He is definitely not an ordinary child. On the other side, Lucette tentatively asked Lev, Mr. Franz praised you a lot just now. Have you learned swordsmanship before? Aurelio explained, I was just doing some basic moves just now. He added, Mr. Franz gave me a lot of support today. She nodded, so that's how it is. Her face was beaming. Even so, in my opinion, you have a talent for swordsmanship. He also felt very happy, I know. Next time if I see him again, I'll ask him to teach me more. Aurelio's expression became a little strange. He remembered the past. That night, when responding to my sword, he deliberately increased his force. Because I was too flustered, I responded with what I had learned in the imperial palace. His palm clenched tightly. I hope I don't have to face him again. Just then, Lucette quickly checked her hair. Aurelio approached. It seems it's true. It's a bit messy here. Please turn around. I'll straighten it for you. Lucette nodded. Thanks. She said happily, You're so kind. I can do it myself. She didn't forget to tease. You're always so clumsy with your own things. Aurelio was stunned. Me? Lucette continued. Then who was the one who fell while talking to me yesterday? He was taken aback, surprised that it was a slip-up. Aurelio looked away. It's too embarrassing. Please forget about it. He thought to himself, the royal family is monitoring my every move. Aurelio didn't want to involve Lucette. Through that sorcerer, I don't want to drag you into danger too. At this moment, she also slowly began to speak. You know, Lev, even though you clearly said you're fine, to be honest, I'm still worried about you. She turned around and instructed. So, if anything happens to you, you have to let me figure it out with you. Understand? He nodded seriously in confirmation. Aurelio remembered the first day they met. Luce, although you have no idea. His heart pounded. But I've already come to rely on you so much. He was deeply moved. You are the one who has brightened my life since the very first day we met, Luce. Hearing this, she laughed. What's this? It's so embarrassing. When you say that, I don't know what to say. Aurelio hurriedly explained, I wanted to tell you how much comfort you've given my soul. He asked himself, will I be able to tell Luce the whole truth one day? But then he comforted himself, no, that day will not come. But then Lucette felt confused. Why are you suddenly laughing? That's suspicious. Aurelio hurriedly shook his head. It's nothing. His heart was resolute. I want to protect your smile forever. On a beautiful day, after that, time flew by, and in the blink of an eye, spring had arrived. Lucette ran to this place. There are flower buds already. She thought to herself, before I knew it, I've been living in Sinan village for almost a year. She seemed to have grown a lot. I can't say that nothing happened during this time, but I feel like I've adapted to a very comfortable life here. She thought in her heart, this is the life I wanted. A voice rang out, Luce. Lucette turned her head. Dietrich. He waved in this direction. She felt strange, this person is. He smiled. Long time no see. You've grown a lot, Dietrich. He continued to ask, don't tell me you've already forgotten me. Lucette seemed to remember something. Could it be? She walked forward and said, that's impossible. Long time no see, brother Dietrich. How have you been lately? He was a bit disappointed. Why did you take so long to answer? I thought you had forgotten me. Suddenly he sighed. I heard from Dominic that you've been studying at Rodante Castle these days. Lucette nodded after hearing this. Yes, that's right. I'm on my way home from school today. Dietrich was curious. How do you find it? Is it worth studying? Her expression was a bit troubled. Not entirely. It's getting harder and harder. It wasn't like this at the beginning. He laughed in surprise. It's like that for everyone when they study. Dietrich added, don't just bury yourself in books. You have to go out and have fun too. Lucette looked at him. So you've graduated? That's why you're back here? He hurriedly shook his head. No, my professor is on sabbatical. Lucette seemed to have guessed. Then you'll probably be in town for a while. She continued to ask, brother, I heard you're majoring in history. Is that right? Dietrich nodded. That's right. What's up? Her voice held a question. Actually, I'm curious about something. Lucette approached and said in a low voice, can you tell me more about the story you told Dominic in the past? Dietrich was surprised. The story I told Dominic? She nodded. Yes, the story about the witch. It sounded interesting. She continued, I'm also very interested in stories about the royal family. Do you want to hear a story about a prince? He grew up neglected by the royal family because he was an illegitimate child. Lucette's voice rang out, forced into a political marriage, and due to constant misunderstandings, developed a love-hate relationship with his wife. He killed the woman he loved, his siblings, and everyone around him. She was still enthusiastically recounting a very sad and cruel story with an ending that made everyone unhappy. Then Lucette asked herself, was I being too rude? Dietrich became serious. Lucette, you. He covered his mouth. You've only grown up a little, but I already find you very strange. Lucette felt embarrassed. Why? Isn't that something that could happen? He laughed. Not at all. Dietrich continued to explain what he knew. Because from the very beginning, members of the royal family cannot harm each other. That's a taboo that not even the emperor can break, because it's a form of ancient magic. She blankly turned her head to look at him, but I heard that the witches of the past have all disappeared. He smiled and explained, that's why it's called ancient magic. But then Dietrich suddenly became curious. Why are you suddenly so interested in these things? He continued to ask Lucette, are you interested in history? Lucette then let out a small laugh. She thought to herself, how strange. I thought that was the ending of the novel, but the content of the novel doesn't exist at all. She was confused. This is something completely unexpected. Just then, Lucette felt worried. She looked up at the sky. Did I miss something? Inside the imperial palace, Diana's voice rang out. Delmar, it's late. She asked, isn't it time for you to be in bed? He sighed sadly. I'm sorry, mother. I can only sleep well when brother. No, when Aurelio reads to me. His expression was dejected. Mother, can you bring brother Aurelio back? Brother Aurelio is so pitiful. Diana was somewhat speechless, Delmar. He was still muttering, he must be so lonely. His voice held a hint of regret. Living alone in such a remote village. Just then, she questioned, how do you know about that place? She continued to stand up and judge. He was clearly taken to a place you didn't know about. Diana became more furious. Don't tell me you went to see him? Delmar suddenly felt awkward that her expression changed completely. I told you not to leave the imperial palace without my permission. He recounted the whole process. It was Radom who took me there. That familiar name made her freeze. Radom? Why? Delmar said sadly. Last summer, I told Radom I wanted to see my brother, so he used magic to take me there. He didn't forget to add, I did see my brother, but only for a moment. Nothing happened. Diana sighed and covered her face. Nothing happened, right? She thought to herself, I haven't heard anything from His Majesty until now, so maybe it wasn't a big deal. This made her worried. If he misunderstands that Delmar cares for that exiled prince, then clearly the Emperor had his own plans. Seeing this, Diana said with an instruction, Delmar, from now on, you are to act as if you've never met Aurelio. Understand? Although surprised, Delmar was very obedient. He nodded happily in agreement. Okay, mother, I'll act as if I've never met my brother. She thought to herself, this will be very dangerous if it continues. I need a way to protect my son. She was well aware of her abilities. Suddenly, Diana remembered the moment the two of them talked. Perhaps he also understood how dangerous it was to accept a child's complaint. Her face became terrifying. I need to warn him. After walking outside, Diana called out, Radom, show yourself. I have something to command you. Radom appeared here. As expected, I cannot hide from the Empress. He gently placed his hand on his chest. Radom answers the call of the great imperial family. Please give your command, Your Highness. Her expression was displeased. I heard everything. You let Delmar meet that child. He then remembered that it was a long time ago. She continued to judge. Do you know how dangerous that was? There must be a reason why His Majesty isolated that child. Diana turned around and reminded, if you were careless and displease His Majesty, then he nodded seriously. Yes, I was too careless. I will be careful. Does Your Highness have any other instructions? She asked. I have a question. It seems she felt suspicious. How did His Majesty hear the prophecy that made him exile Aurelio? Radom quickly explained, I'm sorry, I cannot say, because prophecies are a promise between the people who make the contract. Diana was surprised. A promise? She looked ahead. So prophecies can only be heard about yourself. He smiled and looked at Diana. What is Your Highness curious about? She continued to narrate, Delmar. I'm worried about whether my son will incur His Majesty's wrath. I completely understand Your Highness's concern for the Crown Prince. Radom bowed slightly. Of course, that's not difficult. But then his slow voice rang out. Unfortunately, all prophecies come with a price. She asked, what do you want? Gold, silver, gems, or money? His finger pointed forward. Although a contract can be easily established with just a word from Your Highness afterwards. His voice became extremely eerie. After the contract is over, you will know what the price is. Diana frowned and looked at him. How absurd. Are you planning to hide the terms of the agreement? What nonsense are you spouting? But he still answered with a smile. I am only speaking the truth, Your Highness. You don't need to worry too much. The next words startled her. The Empress's prophecy is like an unripe berry. Diana was about to speak, but he replied, see, are you doubting His Majesty the Emperor? Her hands clenched tightly. Diana thought of her son. All right, although it's annoying, for now this is the only way to protect my son. She looked up at him, and then Diana made her decision. All right, let's make a deal. Radom, tell me the prophecy about Delmar. Radom calmly extended his hand. Very well, Your Highness. He suddenly raised his hands to the air. The space here showed a change, and a golden apple appeared. He held the apple and handed it to Diana. I offer the prophecy to Her Majesty the Empress. She ate it without hesitation. A stream of light appeared, catching her attention. This was the voice that rang out, go find one. Then came the request, go find a fiancé for him. She was very surprised. Delmar. The scene shifted to Rodante Castle. Lucette was confused. An academic festival combined with a music festival? Johan smiled and nodded. That's right, winter is over. He recounted excitedly. It's a festival to showcase the knowledge you've accumulated over the past period, as well as music. Lucette was very expectant. It sounds like it will be very interesting. He nodded in confirmation, of course, because it's a festival to welcome spring. Johan didn't forget to add, of course. There will also be unique highlights. He turned to look at the two. As for the rest, the Lord will explain it to you. Kumin, the main gate was opened. Greet the Lord. Rodante stood up to welcome everyone. The talents of our Rodante, please come in. I've been waiting for you. He was very expectant. You two have both heard a brief explanation from Johan, right? Rodante's first festival will be held soon. Lucette immediately nodded after hearing this. Yes, we heard. It's an event called the Night of Music and Academic Festival, right? Rodante continued to recount. It's a science festival to commemorate the research results achieved throughout the winter, and also a music festival to celebrate the new year. His eyes shone slightly. Last night, I finished a new song for this music festival. festival, and I've also sent invitations to the entire empire. So many distinguished guests will be coming. What do you think? Are you excited? Lucette was a bit stunned. The highlight is, suddenly Rodante turned his head. So I have one thing I want to ask you. He quickly asked, how about you two participate in the academic festival? Lucette was surprised. You want us to give a presentation? He nodded, that's right. There's nothing to worry about. Just be gentle. Johan continued to guide. There's no need to feel pressured, so think about it with a relaxed mind. I think it will be a good experience for you. Although confused, she nodded in agreement. Okay. She quickly went outside. I'll try to talk to Levinas about it. But Lucette desperately he was about to say something. She shook her head and explained, it's okay. As long as I have the teacher's help, it will be fine. Aurelio felt very happy. Thank you for caring about me, Luce. Then I'll do my best to help you. His expression gradually became serious. The scale of this event seems to be much larger than I thought. I hope nothing goes wrong. He thought to himself, because I can't leave this place yet. In the imperial palace, the emperor inquired about the candidates for Prince Del Mar. What does this mean? He was confused. Suddenly she requested an audience and then babbled on about something. Isn't he not yet 15 years old? Diana slowly began to speak. Recently, Your Majesty must have heard that an epidemic is currently spreading throughout the empire. He nodded in confirmation. Yes, I heard that the Peter Duchy has suffered great losses. Her eyes became sorrowful. Yes, so many children have lost their lives. I want to find a good fiancé for my son before it's too late. The emperor immediately hesitated. Then he looked at them one by one. Simmel, Menelik, Brady, Barry. His expression gradually became curious. These are all families from the western border. The emperor looked at Diana. Are these things all a coincidence, Diana? He thought to himself, it seems she's just investigating and choosing. The royal family. She immediately bowed. Then please review it and let me know, Your Majesty. The information in his hand surprised him. Seeing this, she noticed what's wrong. The emperor shook his head. Nothing in particular. It's just that this is a bit interesting. The scene shifted to Aurelio's house late at night. He suddenly felt a pain. Seeing the wound, Radom reminded, Look, Your Highness, perhaps it's time for you to gradually get used to this. He said with a smile, let's see what it will show us today. Aurelio's expression gradually became displeased. He quickly spoke. Why are you looking at me like that? You look very uneasy. Let me see. Radom sighed. It's a pity, but it seems that nothing special has happened. He bowed. Then I will take my leave. Aurelio called out, Wait, Radom, I have something to ask you. Radom was very expectant. You said you have something to ask me? He didn't hesitate, that's right. He continued to ask, in a few days, a festival will be held at the Lord's castle. Will anyone there recognize my identity? This surprised him. There are a lot of people looking for me these days, aren't there? He announced, Your Highness, my prophecies are expensive. Aurelio got straight to the point. What do you want? Radom declared, The essence of prophecy is to read the future. His voice rang out. Your Highness knows that reading the future is a taboo. So to be worthy of that, of course the price to be paid will be very high. His face became more terrifying. However, weight is only relative. So, he extended his hand to him. I will take away the most precious thing to you. Aurelio thought of Lucette's face. The most precious thing to me. This made him fall silent. Radom continued to ask, Now, are you ready? He thought to himself, what should I do? How can I trade Luce? Suddenly, Radom announced a person, his hand extended forward. Perhaps one person, perhaps that person will recognize you, Your Highness. Aurelio was about to say something. Wait, I haven't made a deal yet. He immediately comforted. Don't worry too much. This is not a prophecy, just my guess. Aurelio looked at him coldly. Are you helping me? Radom said, just think of it as an investment. Meanwhile, he immediately disappeared. Then have a good time. Aurelio sighed. What investment? He thought to himself. Then Lucette complained. I'm so tired. It's been several days. He was surprised. Are you okay, Luce? You look very tired. She cried out sadly. After the academic festival is over, I really want to sleep well. He immediately encouraged, please try a little harder. Luce, but you will come, right? Aurelio suddenly felt confused. Why do you ask? He sighed and turned around. I'm being forced to go anyway, right? Her face became radiant. Please think about it with a relaxed mind. No, those two also told us to decide with a light heart. You won't be forced, right? Those words made Aurelio freeze. He quickly shook his head. No, Luce. She placed her hand on his forehead. You must never forget what I said then, understand? A bright smile appeared. Because your eyes are the most beautiful eyes in the world. This moment made Aurelio's heart skip a beat. He gently announced, Luce, I will go to the act. She was surprised. Really? Will you be okay? Aurelio nodded. If I'm with you, then I'll be fine. He thought to himself, that's right, I don't need to be afraid of anything. Because for me too, being with Luce is more important than anything else. It was a luxurious and stately place. Simo called out to her daughter with a worried heart, as Aloys had been crying continuously. What should I do, mother? Why did I get caught up in something like this? She sighed sorrowfully. Why did they choose me as a candidate for empress? I've always lived a quiet life. Her mother gently comforted her. She suddenly felt helpless. Aloys, I understand how you feel, but how can we defy an imperial command? Aloys held her tightly. Defying an imperial command is death, and going against his majesty's will is also death. Aren't they both the same? Aloys's sorrowful voice rang out. Those who have conflicts with his majesty, no matter how big or small, all meet the same end. She didn't know what to do. It was either death or disappear forever. Simo reminded her sternly, you must never say such things again. We still have time. Let's think of a way slowly. She gently instructed, daughter, I will resolve the matter in the palace for you, no matter the cost. Aloys could hardly believe it. Really? She looked up. Is it okay, even if I don't go to the imperial palace? Simo smiled gently. Of course. She announced softly, rest assured and trust your mother. She continued, so don't worry anymore. Let's go out and have some fun. Aloys was surprised. Go out? Simo nodded and explained, that's right, I just received an invitation. It says a small festival is being held in a country town in the suburbs. She wiped her tears. But they said candidates for empress should restrict their outings, mother. She added gently, we just need to disguise you a little. If you change your clothes, no one will recognize you. Aloys was still worried. I've never done anything like this before. Can I do it well? Simo nodded in agreement. Of course you can, my daughter. You'll look good no matter what you wear. It sounds like you're looking forward to it too. It will surely be a happy time. The scene shifts to Lucette's home. Chelsea looked at the letter in her hand. What on earth is this nonsense? The content was very clear. Lady Chelsea, this is the last time I will ask you via letter. I will give you any amount of money you desire. So please give us your daughter. She was confused. It says this is the last time, but this is the first letter they've sent. Her eyes grew sorrowful. Count Menelik. Chelsea silently recalled everything. Until the very end, he never gave up his suspicion that I, a common maid, had deliberately seduced my husband. My husband, disappointed by this, took me away from the Count's mansion. Bad things followed one after another, and even now, I still can't accept that it was his wicked children who took my husband's life. She clutched the letter tightly in her hand. Her expression grew more furious. Wasn't enough to kill my husband, and now they even want my daughter. Suddenly, Lucette called out, Mom. She announced happily, I'm going out now. Where are you planning to go? Chelsea stood up. Did something good happen? Lucette explained, I'm going to Rodante Castle. The academic festival is coming up, and I need to finish the materials for my final presentation. She was a little surprised. Is that so? No wonder you've been so tired these days. Her mood dipped. To be honest, it is quite tiring, but there's not much left, so I'll push a little harder to finish it. She sighed and comforted her. That's really commendable. Well, I'm sure my daughter will do a great job. Chelsea reminded her, also, you must absolutely not go with strangers, understand? Lucette ran off happily. Don't worry too much. Whose daughter am I anyway? She worried in her heart. Don't come back too late, and watch out for carriages, dear. Chelsea sighed sorrowfully. Be careful not to get hurt. She silently watched Lucette's retreating back, and looking back on the past, she realized her daughter had grown up so much. Just this was enough to make her feel happy. She thought to herself, so I've finally managed to stabilize my life. Chelsea muttered to herself, now I must forget what happened before I came here. No, that's not right. She closed her eyes tightly. I must act as if those things never happened. Because for my daughter's sake, I can do anything. Luce, my daughter, I will protect you at all costs. The scene shifts to inside the imperial palace. The emperor's voice rang out. I don't quite understand. Do I look like someone with a lot of free time? He looked at the paper in his hand. Why should I be informed about an event in a small village in the suburbs? His expression turned strange. Wait, if it's in Sinan village, isn't that where that child is? Suddenly, the emperor realized something. He immediately ordered, send someone to Baron Rodante's territory at once. His face was full of excitement. There's a child with red eyes there. He thought to himself, this is a good opportunity to get rid of the thorn in my side. The emperor decided coldly, take care of him for me. Meanwhile, Aloys asked, is it really okay, father? Her father quickly reassured her. Why are you so worried, Aloys? She was still worried. She continued, taking off her glasses. What if someone recognizes me? The questions kept coming. What if my identity is exposed and I get punished? Orlin smiled and comforted her. There's nothing to worry about, because this place has no connection to the Imperial Palace at all. He quickly praised her. Right now, anyone who sees you would think you're a fashionable boy. Orlin said with concern, if you really feel uneasy, we can go back right now. Aloy shook her head. No, maybe it's because I'm not used to looking like this, so I feel a bit awkward. He stepped closer and said, that's right, you'll get used to it gradually, so don't worry too much, dear. Besides, this was your mother's suggestion, so you don't need to worry. He himself was also excited. Don't be like that. Let's think about the concert tonight. I heard the lord of that village is a rather famous musician. Orlin's voice was gentle. I think that performance will surely soothe your anxiety and worries. This made Aloys breathe a sigh of relief. Father. He smiled and hugged Aloys. Daughter, you look much more relaxed now. Let's have a happy day together, understand? She nodded in agreement. Yes. Her eyes filled with anticipation. I hope many good things happen today. Inside the lecture hall, Lucette's voice rang out. That concludes my presentation on the changes in herbs according to their maturity and their efficacy. She said to everyone, thank you all for your attention and for listening. Today was so tiring, it made Lucette sigh. As she walked, she fell a bit down. It's finally over. It's been so tiring lately. Aurelio called out, Luce, over here. He walked over gently. You did a great job with your presentation. It was really cool. She was very happy. Lev, I'm so glad you liked it. Her voice was excited. I was so worried because it was too loose. Aurelio shook his head. No, your presentation was perfect. He looked very pleased. The topic was great, and the research results were flawless. And surprisingly, you organized the presentation very logically. It was very interesting to learn about the systematic aspects of pharmacological research. Lucette smiled in surprise. Did it really impress you that much? She sighed. Thank you, Leviticus. Thanks to you, I feel much more relieved. Aurelio stepped closer. What are you talking about? This is all the result of your hard work. Anyone could see that it was a presentation you put a lot of effort into. She nodded in understanding. Thank you for acknowledging that. Suddenly, Lucette felt curious. So the only thing left on the schedule is the music festival, right? Since it's in the evening, we still have some time. What should we do? Aurelio pointed in another direction. Actually, there's a lecture I'm interested in that I was invited to. If it's okay, would you like to go with me? She was surprised. You were invited to a lecture? That's great. Let's go quickly. Inside the room, the lecturer's voice rang out. Therefore, this arrangement can stabilize magic stones. It also helps improve low-quality magic stones and reduces the most ideal energy consumption in a short period. Lucette sat quietly. What's she talking about? Magic technology? She thought helplessly. I can't understand a single word. Lucette continued to turn her head to look at Aurelio. In fact, because Levinas had never had a teacher of his own, this opportunity was very important to him. She couldn't help but marvel. It's so nice to see him studying so hard. Today had been too tiring for her, but I used all my energy on the presentation, and I've reached my limit now. Lucette immediately whispered, Lev, is it okay if I go for a walk outside? Aurelio turned his head. Are you bored? I'm sorry. She quickly shook her head. It's okay, it just feels a bit stuffy in here. Please contact me through the pendant when a lecture is over, okay? Aurelio nodded. I understand. See you later. Lucette left and went outside. Being outside feels like being reborn. I should have walked around earlier. She immediately looked around. Let's see. Her expression was a bit bored. Here and there, it's all just scientific conferences. Lucette was looking for something more interesting. She sighed and thought. The Lord once said that Rodante has no talented people. Just then, a sound rang out, catching Lucette's attention. She looked towards the inside of the palace. This song is... With curiosity, she pushed open the door and walked in. Lucette's eyes lit up. So this is the main concert hall. Johann smiled and said, Luce, did your presentation end well? He said proudly, I heard from your teacher. I heard everyone's reaction was very good. Is that so? Lucette replied, it's all thanks to my teacher. What are you doing here, Mr. Assistant? He showed her the script. I'm preparing for tonight's music event. The academic festival is almost over, so I'm trying to make sure it starts on time. Suddenly, she was curious. Where's the Lord? Johann smiled and announced, he's inside preparing. It seems he's very happy to be performing again after such a long time. He found it amusing. You can look forward to it. The Lord's performance is truly outstanding. Lucette was looking forward to it. I really want to know what it will be like. Johann immediately waved. Then I'll go prepare. See you at the concert later, okay? She nodded in agreement. Okay, Mr. Assistant. You've worked hard. Lucette was very excited. I'm so looking forward to the concert. Suddenly Rodante's voice rang out. Oh my, it's truly an honor to have you grace such a humble place. He approached, a sincere welcome to Rodante. Lucette was confused. Isn't the Lord preparing for the festival? Rodante continued, the husband of Duchess Simo. Hearing these words, Lucette turned her head. What, Simo? She silently recalled that she was the first female duchess in the empire's history. Simo, the family that ruled the richest territory in the empire. She knew this, and also knew that it was Alois's family. She looked at the boy before her, the heroine of the cruel historical novel of the empire, Ladine. Orlin slowly began to speak. Baron Rodante, I said that today is not an official visit, so please don't make a fuss and quickly take me to my seat. Rodante bowed and replied, yes, my apologies, sir. I will take you to the quietest seat. Lucette's expression became worried. Oh my God. She quickly hid to the side. Why is the Simo family here? She thought to herself, of course, even if the original story has ended, my family can still exist. But then, Lucette sighed. Why do I suddenly have a bad feeling? She sat quietly in a spot, feeling very bored. Just then, Rodom walked up. Oh, this young lady, he said with a smile. The festival is in full swing. Why are you all alone in a place like this? His expression was strange. It's dangerous to be alone in such a remote place. Seeing this, Lucette was stunned. She immediately stood up. Because I have some things I need to think about alone for a while. I'm about to go back now. Lucette also asked with concern, what about you? It's just as dangerous for a gentleman to be alone. Rodom smiled and shook his head. It's fine. I feel quite comfortable being alone. His eyes were a bit strange. I don't really like interacting with people. Realizing that those eyes caught her attention, red eyes, this person must have gone through a lot of struggles too. Lucette smiled brightly. Those are just superstitions. I don't believe in them. She didn't forget to explain, my friend has red eyes too, but he is very kind. Lucette continued to rummage through her bag. Oh, right, I have to contact him. Rodom guessed something. You must have come to the festival with that friend today. She looked up at him. Yes, that's right. Didn't you come with a friend? He nodded. Anyway, I only came here to watch people. Lucette was confused. Watch people? Rodom became very strange. There's nothing more interesting than watching people, is there? She was still young. People are things to be observed. He suddenly spoke up. It's also fun to imagine, right? Think about it. Rodom's voice rang out. There is no one in this world without desires. He remembered Delmar's desire to eat well and live happily, and then Diana's desire for power and even for safety. Finally, there was Aurelio. Sometimes, too much ambition can destroy oneself. At this point, Rodom laughed. How interesting it is to watch humans gradually being devoured by their own ambitions. His face was terrifying. No matter how many times I watch, I never get tired of it. This scene frightened Lucette. She involuntarily stepped back. Isn't this person a weirdo? Lucette spoke, I see. I hope you have fun observing. I should be going. She was a bit awkward. Enjoy the rest of the festival. Lucette left. Then please excuse me. Suddenly Rodom called out. Wait a minute. He announced calmly. I'll tell you something quite interesting as compensation for chatting with me. He quickly approached. Be careful of those who are scanning the audience. Something very interesting is about to happen. This scene made Lucette feel scared. She hurriedly shouted, don't come near me. Rodom disappeared from sight. Lucette looked around. Where'd he go? She asked herself, that person, what kind of person is he really? Inside the party, Rodante began to speak. Thank you to all the distinguished guests who have come today. He greeted everyone. Next, I will perform a song I composed myself, Spring of Rodante. Then Rodante sat down below the seats. Seeing the performance, everyone was surprised. The Baron's performance is truly flawless. It's truly a beautiful melody. Everyone discussed amongst themselves, he's really skilled. Lucette sighed. After what just happened, I still feel uneasy. A whisper caught her attention. Well, are you satisfied with this performance? Alois nodded happily. Yes, father. It's really great to be here. Orland continued to whisper. Seeing you in a better mood makes me very happy, Alois. This familiar name caught Lucette's attention. She suddenly remembered Alois. He had mentioned Alois, the heroine of the original story. Lucette immediately turned her face away. No, I didn't see anything. Suddenly, she noticed something. Rodante and that man were still passionately playing their instruments. That man's eyes were very cold. This made Lucette freeze. She hurriedly turned her face in another direction. We made eye contact. How embarrassing. Realizing something was wrong, Lucette was surprised. Wait, she thought with concern, that person. Lucette realized something. Why does he keep staring at the audience? She remembered Radom's words. Could it be what that person said just now? Lucette tried to comfort herself. Calm down. Maybe that person is just looking normally. No need to be so suspicious. She turned her face in another direction. If that person is really an assassin, she thought, then his target must be here. Lucette suddenly felt confused. Could it be the Lord? If so, he must have been targeting him for a long time. She continued to look at Johann or the assistant. His status isn't high enough to be worth plotting revenge against. Lucette asked herself, or is it Franz? He's too strong. That person wouldn't dare to face him head-on. Just then, she realized something was wrong. Lucette turned her head to look at Alois, a person who appeared here and had a high enough status to be assassinated. She continued to assess, weak in strength and unable to resist, and also hiding her identity. Suddenly, at that moment, the man noticed. He suddenly stood up. Lucette reacted quickly. It really is her. She rushed towards Alois and shouted loudly, "Get back. Move." He held the knife coldly and said, "Don't block my way. Move." This scene made her freeze instantly. Lucette continued to warn, "Danger." Meanwhile, Aurelio shouted, "Luce, can you hear me?" He felt regretful. "Where are you now? If you can hear me, please answer." "I'm sorry. The meeting ended too late." These thoughts flashed through his mind. This is the first time I've heard of this theory. They said they would give out academic books. I have to get them all. Why is it always like this by the time I snap out of it? So much time has passed. Suddenly a voice rang out, catching Aurelio's attention. "Oh my God, isn't that little girl dead?" Everyone was talking. What happened on the day of the festival? How could something like this happen in the peaceful Rodante? The words echoed in his ears. That red-haired girl, is she okay? Aurelio froze instantly. Red-haired girl? He realized the books had fallen to the ground. He hurried forward. "Please let me through." Aurelio kept shouting, "Luce. Where are you, Luce?" The sound of crying made Aurelio freeze. He found Alois constantly muttering, "What should I do?" She immediately pleaded, "Please call a doctor quickly." Seeing Lucette in danger, he froze. She was still holding Lucette. "We have to take her away immediately." Aurelio approached and warned, "Move." His expression was very cold. "Don't touch this person." This scene startled Aurelio and caught his attention. "I'm sorry." She gently comforted him. "Lev, please calm down. He didn't do anything wrong." A bright smile appeared on her face. "I'm fine, so don't blame him." Aurelio was very helpless. "Luce." He held Lucette's hand. "I'm sorry. I suddenly got very scared. I was afraid you were hurt." She nodded in understanding. "I know. You must have been terrified, right?" She didn't forget to say, "I'm sorry for making you worry." Orland ran over quickly. "Daughter." Alois hurriedly called out, "Father." He draped a coat over her. "The commotion is too big. Let's get out of here quickly before things get worse." Aurelio couldn't take it anymore. "Hey!" His expression was completely furious. This was a dangerous situation where someone could have died. "Don't you have anything to say before you leave?" This scene made Orland freeze, and he hurriedly bowed. "My apologies to you as well. It's just that the situation was very urgent, so please understand. We will formally greet you later." Lucette's condition worsened. "Lev, I'm fine. The first thing we need to do is resolve the situation at hand, right?" Seeing her in danger, Aurelio didn't know what to do. He sighed, blaming himself. "Luce, why am I always late?" Aurelio turned his head. "I feel like I can never protect you at the most important moments." Lucette quickly comforted him. "What are you talking about, Lev? This was just an accident. No one knew this would happen." He continued to blame himself. "When I need you the most, Luce always shows up." His voice was somewhat helpless. "But I can't protect you." Aurelio hugged Lucette. "I should have stayed by your side and protected you." She was still struggling to speak. "Lev," she wasn't angry with him. "Just hearing you say that is enough to put me at ease." Lucette felt relieved. "If I were here alone, I would have been really scared. I'm so lucky to have you here." She suddenly suggested, "Can I sleep for a little while then?" Aurelio was startled. "Sleep? What are you talking about, Luce?" Seeing her close her eyes, he froze. "Luce." Realizing something was wrong, Aurelio was surprised. "Wait, since when did Luce's body become so pale?" He shouted, "Luce, wake up." His expression gradually changed. "This is..." Red liquid stained Aurelio's hand. He spoke in despair. No, only Aurelio's scream remained. "Wake up, Luce." Orland said helplessly, "Sir, this situation." Rodante quickly comforted him. "It's all right. It's not your fault. He sighed and decided, however, I never thought something like this would happen during the festival. I will definitely find out the truth. Rodante pleaded, please give me some time. Orland was silent for a moment. He sighed. There's no need for that. Please don't look into this matter any further, Baron Rodante. This made Rodante very surprised. Huh? He looked a bit helpless. I said this visit was informal. He silently calculated in his head. Because the candidates for Empress have been officially forbidden from going out, I must prioritize protecting alloys. Orland looked up. I hope there will be no more commotion here. I'm begging you. Please remain silent and let this all pass. Rodante nodded in response. I understand. Since you have decided, my lord, I will not investigate this matter any further. Thank you for your understanding. Suddenly, he turned his head. But I have one more question. His expression was curious. Who's this girl? Rodante answered quickly. You mean Lucette. She's a girl we are sponsoring. Orland was silent for a moment. He silently remembered that it was this girl who saved Alloys. To be precise, at that moment, Lucette had hugged Alloys tightly without hesitation. His face became melancholic. I need to pay more attention to this girl. Rodante was confused. Huh? What did you say, sir? Orland immediately shook his head. It's nothing, don't worry. When this girl wakes up, please send me a letter. This surprised Rodante. A letter? Why? Orland explained. She is our benefactor, so I want to repay her properly. Well then, please take good care of this girl from now on. Lucette's condition was still terrible. Rodante looked at her with a worried heart. This case is really difficult. He didn't know what to do. For the sake of the people of his territory, the case should end here. This was also the Duke's order, which he could not defy. Aurelio's voice rang out. Lord Baron Rodante, it's Lavina. May I come in for a moment? He nodded in understanding. Yes, come in. Aurelio slowly entered the room. He was worried. Was the Duchess's husband here just now? What's the progress on dealing with the criminal? Rodante felt very troubled. He explained there probably won't be any further investigation. Aurelio's expression changed. Huh? He remembered the scene from before. My lord, Luce almost died, and you're stopping the investigation at a time like this? Rodante quickly comforted him. Please calm down. Isn't Luce safe and sound? The doctor also said the wound isn't deep. He quickly said, and the Duchess's husband seems to have his own difficulties. Aurelio seemed to understand. Are you saying the Duke stopped the investigation? He clenched his fists tightly. His expression was pained. She risked her life to save them. Aurelio blamed himself, but nothing could be found out. He sighed and lowered his head. My lord, please forgive me, but could you please leave for a moment? Rodante nodded. I understand. I'll leave right away. He didn't forget to add, I'm sorry I couldn't be of much help. Lavina, please take good care of Luce. Aurelio sat on the chair by the bedside. He felt uncomfortable. The Duchess's husband's own difficulties. No one knew what he was thinking. Aurelio thought to himself, he doesn't need to know what happened, as long as his daughter is safe. He recognized the woman from before, Aloys Simmel. He remembered that rumors had reached the imperial palace that the Simo couple doted on this daughter. Aurelio sighed. It seems it was to protect his daughter. I can't understand it. He was still talking. In any case, the culprit also. Just then, Lucette called out Lev. He quickly stood up. Luce, when did you wake up? Are you okay? She smiled. I just woke up. What did you get here? Lucette suddenly remembered. I'm sorry. You must have been terrified just now, right? He felt great pain. What are you talking about, Luce? Why are you apologizing to me? He stepped closer. When you were so badly injured, I couldn't do anything. She smiled. What do you mean you couldn't do anything? What are you talking about? Lucette continued to explain. I've already said it. Accidents are unavoidable. Her voice was a little hesitant. Hey, I just remembered the brooch you gave me seems to have been damaged in the accident. I'm sorry. Aurelio shook his head. It's okay. Can you give it to me? I'll fix it for you. He narrated sadly. I have even worse news than that. Lucette was surprised. Bad news? What is it? Aurelio explained that they said the culprit might not be found, so they decided to stop the investigation. She continued to press. Is that so? What about that friend? He sighed and narrated. Thanks to you, she's safe and sound. Her face beamed with radiance. If that's the case, then that's great. As long as she could be saved, that's enough. Really, that's all that matters. She smiled and said, now maybe I can finally get some good sleep with peace of mind. I'll rest a little longer then. Please stay by my side for a little while more, I beg you. After speaking, Lucette fell into a deep sleep. At this moment, Aurelio also slowly stood up. He sighed silently, looking at the gemstone. All right. His voice rang out. If Luce is okay, then I'll let this matter end here. But then Aurelio gripped the gemstone tightly. His expression changed. I will not let something like this happen a second time. His gaze was terrifying. I will absolutely not allow any more mistakes or oversights to occur. Aurelio thought to himself, if what's needed to protect you is great power, he reproached himself, then I am more than willing to return to that position. Aurelio's expression changed. So Luce, I will become your justice. He immediately made up his mind. I will correct everything and protect you. Inside the imperial palace, the emperor was very displeased. You're saying the mission failed? The subordinate hurriedly explained, Your Majesty, there's a reason for this. Apparently, there was another assassin. He didn't seem to care at all. Too noisy. His expression was cold, just as the prophecy said. He glanced out the window, a terrifying smile appearing on the emperor's face. The more I try to kill it, the stronger it becomes. Chelsea asked worriedly, Luce, you're awake? How are you feeling? Is the wound healing well? Lucette replied, Yes, it's healing very well, mother. She smiled. I feel much better than yesterday. She didn't forget to comfort her. The wound wasn't very deep either. She sighed and chided, What do you mean not deep? It was like you drove a huge nail into my chest. Lucette exclaimed, Ouch. Chelsea reminded her, Until you've fully recovered, you absolutely must not be careless. Don't even think about going out. She nodded. I know. I'll focus on recovering. But she was still very worried. I was so scared then, because I thought something had happened to you. You must never do something like that again. Understand? Lucette began, Mother. She remembered that ever since the accident, she had been resting at home, as everyone advised. She seemed to understand. I feel so guilty because this incident made everyone around me worry so much. Lucette was very moved. I'm sorry. Mother, I will absolutely never do something like that again. Chelsea immediately reminded her, Be careful. The soup is about to spill, you little rascal. She instructed, Hurry and eat it while it's hot. You need to eat well to recover quickly. Lucette nodded. Okay, Mother. Suddenly she asked in surprise, But, hey, Mother, is there still no news from Lev? She was confused. Lev, ever since the day he brought you home. I haven't heard anything since. Lucette blamed herself. Could it be that he's angry at me because I acted on my own and got hurt? Chelsea comforted her. He's not that kind of person. She gently patted her head. I think he's just busy with other things. Lucette was about to say something, but she remembered she hadn't seen Lavina's since that day, her expression sorrowful. This is the first time we've been apart for so long. Chelsea reminded her sternly. By the way, you should also practice living independently. Lucette thought to herself, could it be that he's disappointed in me for acting on my own? Her eyes widened. If he's angry at me then. Realizing something, Lucette focused her attention. Leviticus, Chelsea reminded her from behind. Luce, it's dangerous to run like that. She didn't seem to care. Perhaps Lavina's was there. Lucette immediately pushed open the door. Lev, is that you? Johan stepped forward to greet her. Hello? Lucette, have you recovered? It sounds like you're recovering well. She felt disappointed. Oh, it's Assistant Johan. But she still smiled and said, Of course, I'm fine. Why did you come here so suddenly? He was a bit awkward. Well, it's like this. Then he announced, It's because the ducal family of Simo wishes to thank you. Johan smiled and said, They heard that Lucette was injured, so they said they wanted to repay your kindness. The two of them were dumbfounded. They said they are very grateful, so you don't need to feel too burdened. They also said they hope you will accept it happily. Johan quickly bowed and suggested, I wonder if I could move the gifts into the house. Lucette was silent for a moment. Then she quickly refused. No, please help me return the gifts to them. He felt it was a pity. Why don't you like the gift? She shook her head. No, it's not like that. Lucette smiled. Anyone would have done the same in that situation. Her expression was gentle. I just did what was natural, right, Mother? Chelsea nodded with a smile. That's right, if that is your wish. She announced, Mr. Assistant, I respect Lucette's opinion. At the same time, she explained, Please convey my daughter's wishes to the ducal family. Johan was stunned, even the lady. He was about to say something. You two, are you really okay with this much money? Then she quickly shook her head. We said it's fine. Please convey our words, Mr. Assistant. This made Johan a bit helpless. He sighed. I understand. There's no other way. I will convey your wishes to the ducal family. Chelsea smiled gently. Thank you, sir. You prepare to leave. It's nothing. This is my job. Johan didn't forget to add. Well then, Lucette, let's meet again when you've recovered. Lucette breathed a sigh of relief. I'm so glad the gifts were returned smoothly. She thought to herself, those gifts were too much as a token of gratitude. It was almost like they were trying to buy me off. Suddenly, Chelsea praised her. Well done, Luce. She said gently, I don't know since when my daughter has become so mature. Lucette laughed. What are you talking about? You always say that one should know how to repay kindness. This surprised her. Even so, you are still very praiseworthy. Lucette exclaimed, that tickles, mother. She thought to herself, all right, I shouldn't worry about outside matters anymore because everything I want to protect. She returned to the house. Is all here. The scene changes to a spacious mansion. Simo was perplexed. That girl refuse our gifts? Orla nodded. Yes, madam. From what I've gathered, that girl seems to be a very cheerful and upright child. He smiled and said, that girl is truly a rare child in this day and age. Her expression turned strange. That's why I'm saying, what kind of child is she to have nearly ruined my plan? Orland was taken aback. What did you just say, madam? Suddenly, she suggested. Orland, can you help me send a letter to Rodante? A terrifying smile appeared on her face. I want to see the true face of the benefactor who saved our daughter. On the other side, Lucette complained, Mother, I'm really fine now. Chelsea smiled and reminded her, all right, there aren't many customers today, so don't worry about the shop. Please get some proper rest. She explained happily, but I'm really healthy now, Mother. My wound has healed, and my body is better too. Seeing her so stubborn, she also felt helpless. Suddenly she asked, so when are you planning to go see Lev? Lucette was surprised. Why bring up Levinas all of a sudden? Chelsea seemed to have guessed. Don't you really want to go see him? During the time you were sick, you were constantly waiting for him, weren't you? She said gently, go see him. I'll allow you to go. Lucette was very moved. I'm sure he must miss me a lot too. But then her face turned red and she ran outside. Then I'll go visit him and come right back, okay, Mom? Her mother nodded in agreement. All right, just don't be too late. Lucette nodded happily. Okay, Mom, I'll be back safely. Chelsea immediately sighed. That child ran out without even a single glance back at her mother. But immediately after, she fell silent, feeling a wave of unease. My daughter was injured, yet I have to let everything remain silent like this. She clenched her palms tightly, but it's still best not to get involved with nobles. She blamed herself. If I had been just a little careless. Just then, Chelsea turned around. Luce, did you forget something? Suddenly Frederick appeared there. Long time no see. Miss Chelsea, how have you been? Seeing him, Chelsea was in disbelief. A smug smile appeared on his face. She couldn't believe it. Frederick, how? How did you get here? He smiled and chatted idly. How have you been lately? I sent a letter, but didn't get a reply. He held out his hand. Our relationship is more than just a simple greeting, isn't it? Now you can give me a formal answer. Frederick was very contemptuous, a lowly maid who does menial chores. Chelsea reminded him unhappily, just say what you want to say. He smiled and began, what I want to say? I only have one thing to say, my niece. Where is she? She scoffed. Your niece? How absurd. Why are you looking for my daughter now? He didn't seem to care. Don't be angry now. If I'm looking for her, it's to help her, of course. Frederick continued to look around. After all, she is my own brother's daughter. To be honest, it must be hard for her to live here. He sighed. She can't possibly live well in a home with a low-class maid for a mother. Frederick's expression was smug. Running a failing general store in a house with a leaky roof. Is that a good life choice for her? Chelsea didn't back down. If you're only here to say this nonsense, then please leave. She sighed. I know you're not the type to give up easily without a reason. But she didn't want to show weakness. Don't you dare lay a single finger on my daughter, not one. Seeing this, Frederick couldn't help but laugh out loud. You're too sensitive. I'm just worried about my niece. Only to be met with such a cold reception. He turned to leave. All right, that's enough for today. I'm leaving now. However, he didn't leave it at that. Next time, I will definitely see my niece. Finally, Frederick completely disappeared from that place. Chelsea slowly collapsed to the ground. Oh my God, she felt utterly helpless. The people of Menelix are looking for Luce. Chelsea thought to herself, I have to hide Luce. She is my only daughter. She made her decision. I will absolutely not hand her over to those people. Lucette arrived at Aurelio's door. Lev, it's me. Open the door. She felt disappointed. Is he not home? I've already knocked 10 times. Her expression was sorrowful. Could it be that he doesn't want to see me? He didn't even come to see me when I was sick. Lucette immediately started to cry out. Lev, it's me. Open the door for me. But the house remained silent, as if nothing had happened. She quickly decided, hey, we have to clear things up face to face. Lucette immediately pushed the door open. I'm sorry, Lev, but I'm coming in. She immediately looked around, and, as expected, he wasn't on the first floor. She thought to herself, all right, I pretty much guessed it. He wasn't there, an empty place where Lavina's would surely be. Lucette walked towards the stairs. It can only be up here. She hesitated for a moment. Lavina's doesn't seem to like me coming up here, but, then she went up anyway. If that's the case, then he should come down quickly. The sight before her made Lucette freeze. She hurried over. Lev, are you in there? Just then, Delmar hugged her tightly. Brother. Lucette still didn't understand what was happening. He continued, my brother, where is he? Lucette looked completely bewildered. Who is this boy? Then she understood. Brother. The person you're calling brother, is it Lev? Delmar nodded in confirmation. Yes. Do you know where he is now? She smiled brightly. Lucette was very curious. I didn't expect Levinas to have a younger brother. I had no idea. I feel like I've seen this boy somewhere before. She thought to herself, he doesn't look like Levinas at all. Then Lucette said, actually, I don't know where your brother is right now either. I'm waiting for him too. Delmar was disappointed. My brother isn't here? She shook her head. It's not like that. If we wait here, he might show up. At the same time, she stood up. Let's go downstairs and wait for him together. I have some curious things I want to ask you too. Delmar said something strange, looking at her blankly. You want to ask me? Lucette silently recalled that even when he was with me, he almost always just listened and never spoke. She was very happy, but he didn't even tell me he had a younger brother. I can't stand this. Then Lucette asked, Do you like Lev? Delmar was surprised. Are you talking about my brother? She continued, you came here specifically to see him, didn't you? After thinking for a moment, Delmar nodded. Yes, my brother is a very gentle person. He quickly narrated. He used to read to me often until I fell asleep. So even now, I still love the books my brother reads to me. His voice was a little regretful. Actually, the reason I came here to see him today is because I haven't been able to sleep lately. Lucette smiled. So that's how it is. She thought to herself, this little brother seems to really like Leviticus. Her expression was a bit hesitant. It's a shame he can't sleep. Just then, Lucette remembered something, and she immediately rummaged through her bag. Hey, although I can't read to you like Lev. Then she took out a candy. But try this. Delmar was confused. What is that? Lucette smiled and explained. It's an herbal candy that can help you sleep better. I made it with herbs that have a calming effect. Delmar slowly took it. Medicine? Is it dangerous? She shook her head. Not at all. Her face was radiant. Trust me, give it a try. I guarantee it will work. This smile made Delmar freeze. He quickly put it in his mouth. I understand. I'll try it. His expression completely changed. Delmar looked blank. I don't feel sleepy at all. Lucette smiled and explained, of course, you just ate it. Now lie down here first and close your eyes. You'll feel sleepy soon. He quickly lay down. Just lie down like this. His gaze was a bit hesitant. Even if I fall asleep, you can't go anywhere, okay? Lucette smiled and nodded. Okay, I won't go anywhere, go to sleep. She thought to herself, so cute. A child is a child after all. Some time passed. Lucette looked at Delmar. He's already asleep. He must have been very tired. She smiled gently. Why would Levinas hide such a cute younger brother? When he comes down, I'll have to ask him properly. Just then, she also felt sleepy. Lucette muttered to herself, I've been awake for so long. I'm a bit tired. It seems I haven't fully recovered yet. She immediately hugged a pillow. I'm afraid I'll have to take a nap until Levinas comes back. After some more time, a strange light came from the stairs. Aurelio was very happy. Great, it's finally a success. He looked at the object on the table, a magical brooch with tracking and recording functions. With this, I can protect Luce more safely. Just then, Radom appeared swiftly. You look rather gloomy, Your Highness Aurelio. He hurriedly turned around. Radom, how long have you been watching me? He laughed. Don't be so rude. I just arrived. He continued. Long time no see. Was the festival interesting? Aurelio sighed helplessly. No, it was terrible. Realizing something was off, he was startled. He hurriedly turned around. The person you mentioned who knows what I look like, is it the daughter of the Simo family? He laughed out loud in surprise. Why would you think that? He continued. She even showed up in disguise. I don't know if the Imperial Palace ordered that young lady to monitor me, but she didn't seem to recognize me. Radom laughed. Even if the ducal family of Simo is in His Majesty's hands, they wouldn't go that far. He continued. The reason she was in disguise is because of her status. Aren't the Empress candidates under house arrest? This made Aurelio freeze. Empress candidate? Radom said, this is a secret, but it's fine to tell you, Your Highness. He quickly approached. Recently, Her Majesty the Queen has been busy looking for a wife for Prince Delmar. Aurelio didn't understand. What are you talking about? Are you saying she intends for Delmar to inherit the throne? He shook his head. Not exactly. I don't know what the Queen's true intentions are either. He thought to himself, is the situation in the Imperial Palace unstable? He mused. If something happens to the Emperor, it would be a good opportunity for me. He knew he would have to face Delmar. Just then Radom spoke. Then let's get to the main topic. He was confused. Main topic? He repeated, you haven't forgotten the reason I came here, have you? Aurelio clenched his palm. Damn it, I forgot for a moment. He continued, holding out his hand. My job is to check whether the goodwill of the prince who sent you here has corrupted you. Now, give me your hand. His voice was calm. I will illuminate your inner heart. Aurelio was worried. Am I just going to let him read everything like this? He didn't know what to do. What should I do if this goes on? He thought, Radom will read my thoughts. A sound from below caught their attention. Aurelio quickly withdrew his hand. What was that sound? Radom suggested, please go down and see. Aurelio was surprised. Is that all right? He nodded. Yes, I think what I've heard directly today is enough to report. Besides, just looking into your eyes is enough for me to understand your thoughts. His voice was calm. For someone who's been in a room for a week, what should I report? He was in disbelief. What? It's been a week? He rushed outside. Has it been a week since that day? Aurelio was worried. How did time pass so quickly? He blamed himself. I haven't gone to see Luce even once in the past week. Aurelio decided. That won't do. I have to go see her now. Delmar shouted. Brother. He was surprised. Delmar, how did you? He explained. It's because I wanted to ask about your health. Since you have a guest, we stayed together. Aurelio's expression changed. Stay together with my guest? Could it be? Lucette was still sleeping on the side, hugging a pillow. He became worried. He saw Luce. Aurelio's expression changed. Why did you come here again? His voice was a little frightening. Apparently, he turned away coldly. I told you not to appear before me again. Inside the imperial palace, Diana was furious. What are you saying? She demanded. Delmar is missing? The servants cried and pleaded. Please forgive us, Your Majesty the Queen. It happened so suddenly, in the blink of an eye. But she was still furious. Are you making excuses to me now? What do you think your job is? Immediately after, Diana quickly took out a cloak and commanded coldly, follow me. We must find the prince quickly. She thought to herself, if His Majesty finds out about this, I don't know what he'll say. If I keep bothering him with these useless matters, it will become very difficult. Diana wondered, where did you run off to, you little rascal? A realization caught her attention. That's right, if it's him. She approached quickly. Radom, come here for a moment. Delmar is missing. Help me find him. Radom was surprised. Prince Delmar? His expression was cold. He's disappeared from the palace. He quickly remembered Aurelio's familiar house. Could it be? Seeing this, Diana asked, what is it? Do you know where my son is? He smiled and continued. I'm not entirely sure, but his voice was very calm. I have a guess as to where he might be. Radom announced coldly, I am not certain if His Highness is safe. On the other side, Aurelio demanded, answer me. Why didn't you listen to my warning? He had become a different person. I told you not to come here again. His expression completely changed. Why? Why do you keep coming here despite my warnings? This made Delmar very embarrassed, and he reproached himself. I'm sorry, brother. I'll listen to you next time. At the same time, he narrated, I haven't been able to sleep for a long time, so I remember the times I spent with you. Delmar was very pitiful. I thought that only by seeing you would my mood not be so oppressed. Then the door opened. The sight before him caught his attention. I secretly borrowed Radom's magic circle. His eyes widened. I knew you wouldn't like it, but even so, I still wanted to see you. Delmar immediately pleaded, brother, the palace is really empty without you. Can you come back with me? Let's go plead with Father together, okay? He didn't forget to add, you have no reason to stay here. Aurelio felt helpless. He's still the same as ever. He reached out his hand. He still doesn't listen to a single word I say. He called out blankly, brother. He thought to himself, but the truth is, the Emperor's purpose is not clear at all. It wouldn't be surprising if my head were to part from my body soon. He asked himself, why did he abandon me here? Delmar asked, is it because of her? He immediately froze. What? He smiled and chatted idly. Is it because of her that you're attached to this place? I think I've seen her once before. Delmar was about to say more. If you're afraid to go back alone, then take her with you. Aurelio's expression grew uglier. No. He instructed, don't say anything about her. You didn't see anyone here. He looked blank. Yes. He looked at the sleeping Lucette. News about Luce must not reach the imperial palace. She could be in danger again. He decided, I have to get him back quickly before it's too late. Delmar immediately cried out, brother, that hurts. Just then, Diana's familiar voice was heard. Delmar, seeing her appear, he froze, immediately at a loss. Delmar hurriedly shouted, Mother! Diana continued to command, what are you planning to do to my son? Let him go immediately. Her voice was filled with fury. Aurelio! Diana asked slowly, "What do you intend to do to my son?" She spoke as if giving an order. "Let him go at once, Aurelio." His expression was uncomfortable. "Did you tell him to come?" Aurelio immediately explained, "Please do not misunderstand, Your Majesty the Queen. As I said before, the prince came to find me on his own." He said seriously, "I swear I did nothing." Delmar also nodded worriedly. "That's right, Your Majesty the Queen. Brother." "No, Aurelio did nothing wrong." He sighed. "It was my idea this time. I only came here to relax." "I'm sorry, Mother." Diana suddenly calmed down. "Your idea?" Aurelio's expression suddenly became silent. Finally, he spoke. "A prince is a prince after all. I can't believe he can just wander around outside the palace without a word." Perhaps he felt very uncomfortable. Isn't this too unfair to the restricted Empress candidates? Delmar still didn't understand. "Empress candidate? What are you talking about, brother?" Diana looked blank. "Lavina, how did you know?" He looked at her. "Please explain it to me, Mother. This is the first time I'm hearing about this." Aurelio continued to repeat. Stories of the royal family usually spread everywhere. Unfortunately, this matter was kept a secret from the main character. He felt very confused. "Why are you in such a hurry to marry your son off when he's still so young?" Aurelio speculated. Could it be that something has happened in the imperial palace? She remembered the scene when she met Radom. Not all. Then she was silent for a short while. Diana announced, "There is no such thing. The imperial palace is as peaceful as ever." She reassured, "His Majesty is still in good health. This is entirely my personal decision." Delmar quickly spoke up. "I don't agree, Mother." He was very displeased. "What marriage? This is the first I've heard of it. Why did you make a decision on your own without consulting me?" She immediately shouted, "You be quiet, Delmar." Her furious face spoke. "Do you have any idea how much effort this mother has put in to protect you? Everything I do is for your benefit, so you stay right there." This also caught Aurelio's attention. "Interesting." He sighed and said, "The royal family neither cares about an imprisoned prince like me, nor does it formally announce the matter of taking an empress." Diana judged coldly. "From just now until now, your words and actions have been extremely disrespectful." "Aurelio, what exactly are you planning to talk about?" Finally, Aurelio continued to announce, "I think it's time for me to slowly put an end to all this." She didn't understand. Time to end? His expression turned cold. "The matter of you spying on me. I will return the prince to you, so I hope you will not come here again in the future." Diana was stunned for only a few seconds. "You mean?" Her expression changed. "Are you planning to defy the imperial order by holding my son hostage?" Aurelio said slowly, "I believe Her Majesty the Queen is also aware of how reckless Delmar's visit was, and that was a choice I made for my own self-preservation." He looked at the woman before him. From now on, the princes, princesses, and all close relatives of the royal family. Aurelio was very calm. "I will not permit any of them to come here." His voice was firm. "Don't ever think of setting foot in here again." He thought to himself, "I've always found this strange. Aurelio seemed to understand why the emperor hadn't killed me. He had so many opportunities." He silently calculated. Perhaps it's not that he didn't want to kill me. These words appeared in his mind, but because he couldn't kill me. Diana seemed to understand. "Is that all you wanted to say?" Aurelio continued to instruct. "If your Majesty wishes to see me, please feel free to summon me." He didn't forget to announce, "I will be very happy to see your Majesty then." His expression was very calm. "Today will be the last time I see you here." Aurelio thought to himself, "I will definitely find out the truth later." Aurelio called out, "Luce, wake up, Luce." Lucette slowly opened her eyes. He asked, "Have you been waiting long for me?" She was startled and said in surprise, "Lev, when did you get here?" "I'm sorry, I was waiting for you and ended up falling asleep." Her expression was worried. "It seems I slept for a long time. I'm sorry." He smiled. "It's all right." She was a little embarrassed, but Lucette asked, "Hey, did your brother get home safely?" Aurelio was surprised. "Brother?" She hurriedly described, "I mean the blonde boy. Didn't you see him? He was looking for you." This stunned him for a moment, and he immediately turned his face away. "He's just my cousin. He went back and probably won't be coming back again." Lucette understood. "I see." She continued, "He seemed to really like you. I've never heard you talk about your family, so it was refreshing to see him." Seeing him remain silent, Lucette was surprised, and she called out, "Hey, Lev, are you keeping a secret?" He didn't understand. "A secret?" Lucette explained, "It's just that I haven't seen you in a long time, and this is the first time. We've been apart for so long." She recounted sadly, "I was wondering if you were angry at me for getting hurt on my own accord, but when I went to your house out of worry, no one was there. The boy I first met here said he was your relative." Her expression gradually became downcast. "We've been together for so long, but I suddenly realized there are still so many things I don't know about you." Lucette's gaze shifted to the ground. All of a sudden, I felt a distance between us, so I've been in a strange mood. Suddenly she asked, "We're still friends, right?" She continued, "We're on the same page, aren't we?" Aurelio quickly suggested, "Give me your hand." She was surprised. "My hand?" He placed something in her hand. "It's the brooch that broke last time. I fixed it for you." It was hard for me too, not being able to hear your voice during this time. His voice was firm. "Luce, I will never leave you." Lucette was surprised. Leviticus seeing her hug him. Aurelio called out worriedly, "Luce." She narrated with a laugh. "Really, I was worrying for nothing. Please forgive me this time." He nodded at her reassuringly. Sorry for making you worry." Aurelio thought to himself, "Luce, that brooch can help me hear the sounds around you." He continued to calculate in your location information. "When your heart races, I won't make the same mistake again." His hand gently stroked Lucette's hair. "Let's be together forever." His voice was somewhat frightening. "I won't let you slip away again." After that day, time passed, and we returned to our ordinary lives. Lucette gradually became happier, and Lavina's didn't make me wait anymore. The two of them often chatted, and we still talked a lot, just like before. Lucette suddenly spoke up. "It's good to live in peace," but she said to herself with a laugh, "I think I've been eating too many snacks lately. On the contrary, if I keep indulging like this, it'll be trouble." But her mood was still very cheerful. I really need to hold back a bit. Who can blame me when Lev's cookies are so delicious? Johan called out, "Lucette." He was curious. "Why are you looking in the mirror?" She was startled and turned to look at him. "Assistant Johan." Lucette walked forward. "How have you been lately, your lordship?" He nodded in confirmation. "Of course, I'm fine. It's been too quiet in the castle, which makes me feel lonely." She was a little sad. "I'm sorry, I've been absent for too long, haven't I?" Johan smiled and shook his head. "It can't be helped. You've suffered a lot recently, haven't you?" He took out a letter. "By the way, I have something I want to give you. I just happened to run into you, so take this." Lucette took the letter and said in surprise, This is an invitation from the Simo family." She was confused. "An invitation?" She continued, "I've already refused their gift. Why would they send me an invitation?" Johan said with a smile, "Isn't that precisely why they sent it?" His voice was calm. "It seems they're determined to express their gratitude to you. They said you can bring anyone you want with you." Lucette felt at a loss. To think it's come to this. She felt worried. "This is too difficult. I already refused them last time. I don't know if my mother will allow it." He thought, if it's Lucette's mother. So he gently announced, "It will probably be fine." Johan continued to recount what happened. "Actually, I just passed by the general store and met your mother. She said she would listen to your opinion." Lucette's eyes immediately widened. Impossible. Suddenly, she remembered Chelsea's instructions. "All right, go." Lucette couldn't even believe her ears. She asked again blankly, "Really?" She said gently, "I heard you even receive an invitation. Perhaps it would be better to meet them in person." Lucette smiled. "I thought you wouldn't let me go." She sighed. "Why wouldn't I let you go?" Chelsea stroked Lucette's head. "I saw how decisively you spoke before. Go ahead. When do you plan to leave?" At the same time, she chatted. "They said they'll come to pick you up the day after tomorrow." "All right, I'll help you pack." Just then, Dahlia spoke up. "Chelsea, do you really think that's the best choice? Are you planning on not saying anything to Luce?" She was a little regretful. "At least you have to explain it clearly to her." Chelsea said gently, "Dahlia," but her expression completely changed. "That matter is over." Dahlia was still surprised. "Are you really planning to?" She continued to instruct. "All right, Luce, I'm going out for a bit, and then I'll be back at the shop. Also, if you want a companion, that's fine too. Try asking Leviticus." Lucette nodded. "Okay, I will." Dahlia quickly chased after her. "Wait, Chelsea, let's talk. There must be another way." She didn't understand. "What's wrong?" She continued to persuade. "Stop acting so recklessly." Lucette was very confused. "Really? Can I really go?" Seeing Lucette sigh, Aurelio was surprised. "Luce, what's wrong?" He walked forward. "What is it?" She shook her head. "It's nothing." She narrated, "Actually, Dahlia and Mom just had a fight. It seemed to be because of me, so I'm a little troubled." Aurelio was surprised. "Why because of you? What happened?" Lucette sighed. "It's like this," she said. "I've been invited to Duke Simo's house." This stunned him. "What?" He continued to ask. "Is it because of the science conference?" Lucette nodded and speculated. "It seems so. The Duke sent gold and jewels to my house before, which I refused. But this time, they sent me an invitation." She looked up at him. "To be honest, I've been thinking a lot because I feel a bit pressured. Mom told me to just go, but I don't think my aunt wants me to." Her expression turned sad. I don't know why the two of them are arguing over this. This is so hard. He thought to himself. The Duke stopped the investigation, so now he wants to compensate Lucette this way. Aurelio realized to nobles, commoners are nothing. He didn't know what to do. However, there's no need to show goodwill twice, let alone invite her to their home. He understood there must be some motive behind this. Lucette called out, Leviticus. She looked at Aurelio. Didn't you hear me? He shook his head. Sorry, what did you just say? She continued to suggest with a smile, I'm inviting you to go with me to the Duke's house. I think I'll feel more at ease if I go with you. Aurelio quickly replied, if it's about that, it's not difficult at all. This made her very happy, really. I was just worried you'd feel pressured. He continued, because this isn't someone else's business. It's your own. His hand rested gently on Lucette's shoulder. Aurelio comforted her gently. So this time, I will definitely stay by your side. She nodded happily. Thank you, Leviticus. He thought to himself, Luce, I will absolutely not let you fall into danger again. Afterwards, Aurelio asked worriedly, are you sure you don't need me to walk you home? Lucette shook her head. It's okay. I can go home by myself. She waved goodbye. Then Lev, see you the day after tomorrow. Goodbye. Aurelio immediately closed the door. Duke Simo, he quickly recognized them as a loyal family that survived the Emperor's Great Purge. He thought to himself, under an emperor who would mercilessly purge any noble who dared to threaten his position. The reason the Simo family survived, he guessed some reasons, was not just because of loyalty. Clearly, Simo was not a simple character. They knew what kind of decisions had to be made to survive and maintain their status. Thinking of this, Aurelio felt a headache coming on. He seemed to understand. Such a wise duke, he continued to think, would never summon Luce for no reason. Aurelio's voice was somewhat displeased. Although I don't know what they're plotting, he warned, but I will absolutely not let them touch Luce. Not even a single hair. There was a knock on the door from outside. Aurelio opened the door and went out. Luce, did you forget something? Just then, Chelsea appeared. I'm sorry to come looking for you so late, but I think I need to come in and sit for a while. Her expression was calm. I know you don't belong here. She continued to announce, I want to hear the details. Chelsea has guessed some things about your identity. In the room, Aurelio asked, my identity? What do you mean? Chelsea continued, Levine is you. It seems she has guessed everything. You weren't supposed to be here originally, right? She continued to remind him, you don't have to hide it, no matter how I look at it. You seem like someone from a noble family. Chelsea's words stunned Aurelio. Although I don't know what happened to you, it seems you're hiding your identity, and you only trust me, right? He regained his composure. Why are you telling me this? She sighed and narrated, if you're the child of a noble, then you probably know about the peerage and genealogy of the fifth rank, right? Have you heard the name Lawrence Menelik? He had some impression. You mean the Menelik, head of the family who died of illness? Chelsea was very sad. That's right. He died in this town. Aurelio seemed to understand. Wait a minute, does that mean? She nodded in confirmation. That's right. Lucette is a child with the blood of the Menelik family. Then she told the story. But the Menelik family suspected Lawrence. They were worried that one day the young master would return to covet power. Unpleasant things happened, so before they left the family, they had already prepared a plan. At that time, Chelsea was in great pain. Lawrence, her husband who suffered from a chronic illness, passed away as soon as he arrived in this village. She felt resentful. Her husband was a victim of the family's greed. Her voice rang out. Those people are now coveting her daughter. She would never let those bastards have their way. Chelsea held Aurelio's hand, but she wasn't strong enough on her own, so she was asking him. She seemed to be pleading, protect Luce with your power and the power of your family. Her voice was filled with desperation, whether it's marriage or making her a servant or anything else. Aurelio thought to himself, she doesn't know I'm a member of the royal family. He suddenly pulled his hand back. I'm sorry, madam. His expression was helpless. Although I can't tell you my exact identity, my current identity is just a facade. I'm sorry, I can't help you. Seeing Aurelio refuse, Chelsea didn't know what to do. She sighed wearily. So you have your own reasons too? Then there's only one way left. Then she straightened her clothes. It's nothing. I'll take my leave then. Before leaving, she didn't forget to add, don't worry too much. I won't tell anyone your identity. Chelsea turned her head slightly. Lavina's. Her face was as gentle as ever. Please stay by Lucette's side and help me in the future. You probably won't refuse me this, will you? Aurelio nodded in agreement. Yes, of course. He thought to himself, what's going on? Why'd I have a bad feeling about this? The scene changes to a large mansion. The carriage finally arrived. The servants quickly lined up. "Welcome, Miss Lucette. You must be tired from the long journey." Lucette was very surprised. "It's so big here. Is this the Duke's castle?" The servant continued to suggest, "I will help you prepare for dinner. Miss Lucette, please come this way." She didn't understand. Prepare? The servant quickly explained, "Yes, the Duke has instructed us to take good care of you. Now, please follow me." She quickly shook her head. "No, I'm fine. Please wait a moment." Franz laughed from the side. "They're very enthusiastic. Go on, come back soon." Lucette noticed Aurelio's ugly expression, catching his attention. He asked, "Levinas, why do you look so gloomy? Did I interrupt your date?" "I only came along on the Lord's orders." Aurelio quickly shook his head. "No, I'm very grateful for you protecting us." He sighed. "It's just that I'm a little worried." His expression was very calm. "Or is it because someone recognized you?" He felt uncomfortable. "What are you talking about?" Franz continued, "Isn't it? Although I don't know who you are, coming to a place like this, it wouldn't be strange if someone recognized you." He commented coolly, "I know you're no ordinary boy. I realized it when I fenced with you." Aurelio fell silent. "Maybe I've stayed in this village for too long." He continued to watch him. "By the way, since I've already said it, let me ask you, tell me the truth. Levinas, who are you really?" Aurelio slowly walked away. "Don't worry." Franz kept suggesting, "Hey, tell me. I'll keep a secret." "What's wrong?" He sighed. "Please stop, Sir Franz." He suddenly let out a breath. "Just what kind of big secret are you hiding?" The scene changes to the inside of the palace. Lucette called out, "Hey, Louis." The servant quickly stood by. "Yes, Miss Lucette." She was a little worried. "This dress." Louis kept praising. "What are you talking about? It's so beautiful." Lucette was embarrassed. "Really? This is the first time I've worn such a low-cut dress." She quickly walked forward. "Is there anything I need to pay attention to? Like etiquette I need to follow?" Louis laughed. "Relax." She chatted with a smile. "The Duke is not the type to criticize a benefactor. However, you should be careful and pay more attention to the Duchess." Her voice was calm. "She's not the type to reveal her true intentions through words." Lucette nodded. "I understand." She seemed to get it. "This means the Duchess will also be at dinner, right?" Louis nodded in agreement. "That's right." Although she had a prior engagement, she said she would come even if she's late. She continued to chat with a smile. "Because she's very fond of you, Miss Lucette." Lucette thought to herself, "If I had known, I would have accepted their gift. What do I have to do to gain the favor of a noble family?" She felt tired. "I feel so uncomfortable when they go to such trouble for a guest like me. This is so hard." Aurelio walked forward and called out, "Luce." Lucette's expression went blank. "It's strange. It's the same face I see every day." But she found it strange. "Why does it feel different today?" Their eyes met. "He's like a prince from fairy tale." Lucette suddenly asked, "Did you take off your glasses?" The butler appeared happily. He was going to wear them, but I stopped him, saying it would be impolite. Aurelio was surprised. "Does it look strange?" Lucette quickly shook her head. "No, not at all. It suits you very well. It's just that you look a little different." He gently placed a hand on his chest. "Because I don't usually get to see you like this. But you like me this way, right?" He continued to add, "It's a bit unfamiliar, but as long as you like it, that's all that matters." Lucette fell silent. "I want to shout to the whole world." She screamed wildly in her mind. "Everyone, my childhood friend is too handsome." She said to herself, "No, if he becomes too famous, I'm afraid there will be trouble." Aurelio called out, "Luce." He held out his hand to her. "Dinner is about to start. Let's go." His expression was gentle. "I will escort you." Lucette was very moved. "He's even escorting me. Levinas is so considerate." She chatted as they walked. "By the way, the Duchess said she has a prior engagement and will be a little late. It seems she's determined to see me." He nodded in understanding. "I know. You don't need to be too nervous. If anything unpleasant happens, I'll help you." She breathed a sigh of relief. "Then I don't have to worry." Aurelio was surprised. "Are you really okay?" Lucette took out a letter with a smile. "I prepared something too." A moment later, delicious dishes were prepared on the table. Orlin chatted with a smile. "Thank you for coming, Lucette. The journey must have been tiring. Please make yourself comfortable." Lucette shook her head and explained, "Not at all. I should be thanking you for inviting us here. But this young lady next to you is." She thought to herself, "She really is Alois. I can't deceive myself anymore." Alois slowly raised her head to look at Aurelio. Then she slowly began to speak. "Hey, I'm talking to you." Her expression was curious. "I was wondering if we've met before." Orleans turned his head and explained, "Don't you remember Alois? He's the young man who was with Miss Lucette last time." She quickly shook her head. "I didn't mean it like that. I feel like I've seen him somewhere before." Just then, Aurelio spoke calmly. No, we have never met before. I have always lived in Sinan village. Perhaps you've mistaken me for someone else." She nodded in surprise. "Is that so? I'm sorry if I misunderstood. It's just that I had a feeling of familiarity, so I asked." The space became silent again. Orleans quickly chatted. "It seems there's been some misunderstanding between us. Everyone must be hungry, right? Let's start eating." Lucette nodded. "Okay." She glanced at Aurelio. She thought to herself, is Lavina's unhappy about what happened last time? He's not usually the type to dislike people. She was surprised. It seems he's on guard against something. After a while, Orleans suddenly asked, "But Miss Lucette," he was curious. "I haven't seen you in a long time, so there's something I'd like to ask. Why did you refuse our gift?" Lucette was startled. "That matter," she continued to narrate. "I've already explained it to you. Regarding that incident, I just did what I had to do. I don't want anything special at all." "Really?" He laughed. "Just as I thought. I believe you from the start." Lucette became awkward. "Thank you." Suddenly she was surprised. "But why did that stranger target the princess? She even disguised herself." Aloys spoke up. "I'm also curious about that." Just then, Simo appeared. "You're very sharp, Miss Lucette." She chatted with a smile, as expected of my daughter's savior. "Everyone, please be aware, the Duchess Simo." She continued, "I'm sorry I'm late. You don't need to stand up." Simo calmly sat down in her chair. "You probably have a lot of questions, don't you? Then ask them one by one, whether it's about that case or something else." Lucette thought to herself, "She's friendlier than I imagined." She slowly began to speak. Then, her voice filled with naive innocence. "I was wondering why Aloys." "No, the princess was dressed as a young man there at that time, and also why you stopped the investigation into that stranger." She was very confused. "If it were me, I would definitely find the culprit." Until the very end. Simo responded calmly. "A very good question. Actually, this case is being investigated secretly." Lucette was very surprised. "Really? I thought you had stopped the investigation." Her voice was somewhat calm. "Of course, this concerns my daughter's life. But during the investigation, I found a point of suspicion." She was confused. "A point of suspicion?" She continued, "Why did Miss Lucette save Aloys?" Simo quickly voiced her doubts. "No matter how I think about it, I find it strange. How could a weak girl like Miss Lucette grasp the stranger's movements and be one step ahead of the attacker?" She continued to analyze. "As a mother, I have to consider many possibilities. It's possible that Miss Lucette," her expression was very calm, "had already recognized my daughter and deliberately created this incident." This stunned Lucette. "This is ridiculous. That I was in league with that stranger?" She looked at the other two people. Aloys and her husband were also very shocked. They probably also felt this was completely absurd. She felt at a loss. Why is she deliberately making things difficult like this? Aurelio spoke unhappily. "Madam, please watch your words. Luce simply saved someone bravely and has nothing to do with this case." Simo explained with a smile. "Let's see, we don't know the truth yet, so we can't draw any conclusions. Therefore, please cooperate with the investigation." She continued, "It seems we need to know more details about the two of you." But Aurelio's expression now became very displeased. He quickly refused. "There's no need. That's enough." At the same time, he walked towards Lucette. "I didn't expect the Duke Simo family to have such terrible hospitality." This move stunned everyone present. Aloys realized something was wrong. "Wait," she quickly reminded. Her hand. Franz was startled and stood up. "Luce, what's wrong with your hand? Did you eat something wrong?" Lucette explained with a smile. "It's okay. It's probably because I'm allergic to one of the dishes here. I'll be fine after a short rest." Aurelio comforted her gently. "Let's go. Luce, there's no need for us to stay here any longer." He continued to look at that terrible woman. "I'm sorry, Duchess Simo. You've seen Luce's condition. I'm afraid it's difficult for us to stay and chat any longer. I hope you will allow us this discourtesy." His gaze was very displeased. "We certainly have the right to be treated as guests, don't we?" After speaking, the three of them quickly left. Simo watched the three of them coldly. Aurelio was still very worried. "Is it really okay like this?" He sat down to check the wound. "I told him I only needed the medicine you brought. I refused the doctor." Lucette nodded. I'm fine," she said with a wry smile. "I'm sorry. It's all because of me that you were embarrassed. You must have been very surprised just now, right?" Her voice was a little flustered. "By the way, how long are you planning to kneel?" "I'm really fine. Please get up quickly." Aurelio sighed. "I'm really angry." He felt furious. For her to be so rude, calling someone here to do this, it's just too much. She was about to say something more. "Wait. It seems you've misunderstood something." Leviticus, Lucette explained. The Duchess was indeed rude to us. But the truth is, the next words stunned Aurelio. You made yourself have an allergic reaction on purpose? Lucette joked playfully. Yeah, I secretly applied oak moss extract to my hand before dinner. She continued to narrate. I already said I had my own preparations. I brought this extract and sleeping pills. At the same time, she winked. Luckily, the rash appeared at the right time, just as planned. Aurelio breathed a sigh of relief. So that's what it was. Lucette felt very embarrassed. I'm sorry. I should have told you sooner. He fell into thought. Luce. Then he called out. You weren't planning on using me, were you? Her face became confused. Use you? He continued to stroke her hand. Whether it's on purpose or not, whenever I see you hurt, my heart aches. Lucette suddenly felt very sad. Leviticus. She thought to herself, if the meeting with the Duchess had only stayed at that level, on the contrary, I would have thought it was a very easy matter. She continued to look at him, but I made Lev's heart ache. Aurelio suddenly spoke up. Luce, I still have 2 wishes left, right? Lucette nodded in confirmation. He slowly raised his head. My second wish is. His warm voice sounded in her ear, for Luce not to hurt herself again. Lucette felt a little awkward. I'm sorry. I thought it was something I caused, so I had to solve it. She then asked, are you sad because I didn't discuss it with you? I wasn't able to discuss that matter with you beforehand, she continued, smiling. I won't do that again in the future, so that time doesn't count as a wish. It was my fault for making you worry. Aurelio felt a sense of relief. All right, if you need my help in the future, you must tell me. Lucette nodded. I know, I will. Remembering something caught her attention. All right, Lucette hurriedly reminded him. Speaking of which, what about Sir Franz? We left him there and came out by ourselves. Aurelio then remembered and sighed. He'll probably be fine. He might have been mentally prepared for a moment like this. On the other side, Simo was chatting. Sir Franz, I heard everything you just said very clearly, she smiled. This information is very useful for better understanding those 2 children. He became embarrassed. I'm glad I could be of help to you. Simo quickly proposed. It's getting late. We must excuse ourselves to clean up here. Thank you for coming to chat with us so late. Franz nodded. Yes, I'm glad as well, madam. Orlons, who was beside them, became very uncomfortable. After a moment, he spoke. Madam, his expression was very serious. You really went too far today. They are the guests who saved Aloys. Orlons kept reminding her, stop doubting our benefactors. Shouldn't we be focusing on finding the culprit right now? There was a hint of helplessness in his eyes. Of course, he had also been a little suspicious at first, but he believed that finding the culprit was the most important thing. He was very careful not to reveal Aloys' identity. Just then, Simo suddenly spoke. I already know who the culprit is. She continued to announce. I was the one who spread the rumor that many people wanted to assassinate the crown princess candidates. Her expression was calm. I tried to use this as an excuse so they couldn't take our daughter to such a dangerous place. I was trying to get the royal family's attention. Orlons was very surprised. This, he hurriedly tried to explain. Don't you know what a terrible memory this would be for our child? Even if you are my wife, Simo was very calm. Don't misunderstand, husband. Her expression became terrifying. It was originally because Aloys wanted to be removed from the list of crown princess candidates. So I just did what she wanted. These words immediately made Orlons freeze. He suddenly shouted, Madam, how could you say such a thing? His voice was filled with despair. Because the mastermind behind the assassination is you. The time shifts to late at night. Aloys was still in disbelief. Mother actually planned to kill me, she said to herself. Mother did that because of me. The thought surfaced in her mind. What should I do? The moon was already high in the sky. Lucette silently stared at the ceiling, suddenly feeling a bit bored. I can't sleep at all, she thought. A life is at stake. I'm tired, and the Duchess's hostile attitude makes me uncomfortable. Why do I have so many things to worry about? A knock on the door sounded, catching Lucette's attention. Who is it? Aloys said. Miss Lucette, may I come in for a moment? She was very surprised. That voice is... The door slowly opened, and she sighed. As I thought, you're not asleep yet. Lucette was confused. Your Highness, she asked. What brings you here at this hour? She walked in. I just suddenly thought of some things, so I came by to see you. I have something I want to say to you. Lucette's mind went blank. You have something you want to say to me? Aloys calmly sat down by the chair, and her calm voice sounded. If you don't mind, could you give me a moment of your time? Then she said with a hint of apology. First, I want to apologize to you. During dinner, my mother was indeed a bit too harsh on you. Lucette hurriedly shook her head. Not at all. From the Duchess's perspective, I can understand. She must have been very flustered at the time. She sighed in response. Her only daughter was almost seriously injured. Her expression changed. It's okay, even if you're angrier. Mother was just thinking of me. Realizing something was off, Aloys fell silent. She seemed a bit flustered. Anyway, I apologize on her behalf. I was just too worried. Lucette was surprised. What's going on? She doesn't necessarily have to take my side. She thought to herself. She came here because she was worried about me, worried about that incident. What a kind girl. Lucette responded with a smile. Thank you, Your Highness. Thanks to you, I feel a bit more at ease. This moment made her heart pound. Alois Polbet. Then what about your hand? You were injured. Lucette shook her head. If it's about that, it's fine. I've already applied medicine. She was surprised. Medicine? Did you make it yourself? She nodded in confirmation. Yes, I'm teaching myself pharmacology. This filled Aloys with anticipation. That's amazing. Since when? My teacher said pharmacology is a very dangerous field, that it can be very dangerous if you make a mistake, so he didn't teach me. Lucette smiled. It's not as difficult as you think. I started learning because of a friend. Suddenly, Aloys remembered something. That friend of yours, it's probably Lavina, right? She then asked. Are you two close? Lucette nodded. Of course, we're best friends. She was surprised. Is that so? I have a question. She continued to probe. Is he the illegitimate son of some family? Lucette still looked blank. What? If you're referring to the conversation between you two during the meal, I don't think Lev, she commented without hesitation that it was clearly a lie. It seems Aloys had already realized something. He's clearly the son of a noble. Although I don't remember clearly, I'm sure I've seen him somewhere before. Aloys's eyes were filled with anticipation. You really don't know anything? Lucette thought to herself. If even the princess is saying this much, could it be true? She began to speak sorrowfully. Actually, he also moved to our village suddenly at the beginning. Yes, I really don't know anything. She slowly stood up. I'm telling you this because I think you are a kind and pure-hearted girl. Her expression was serious. Don't trust people who are dishonest with you too much. Lucette smiled reassuringly. It's all right. I really trust Leviticus. I think when the time is right, he will tell me himself. Aloys wanted to say more. Do you really think so? He's even hiding things from his best friend. She gave a sad smile. Maybe it's true, but her palm clenched tightly. If that's really the case, then he must have a reason for hiding it. She continued to chat. If we continue to be together like this, he will tell me sooner or later. Suddenly, Aloys was confused. Don't you feel frustrated? Lucette smiled. Although this is a very difficult path, so what? She announced softly. I will always trust Leviticus. A brilliant smile bloomed on her face. Because that's the only thing I can do for him. These words immediately made Aloys freeze. She clenched her palm tightly. I understand. Her expression gradually became strange. How can one person trust another to that extent? Seeing this, Lucette called out, Your Highness. Suddenly, she asked, what if a person she trusted so much did something incomprehensible? She seemed very fixated. Finally, the moment she couldn't believe had arrived. That person hurt her. Her face was on the verge of tears. Then what should she do? These words surprised Lucette. What's wrong? It seems she's not talking about Leviticus. She slowly began to speak. First, then she suggested, let's first try to listen to their reasons. Maybe there's some misunderstanding. But, she gently advised, even if I can't accept it, I won't regret my past choices. At that point, I just need to switch to someone else I trust. Seeing this, Aloys was confused. Then who will you trust? Lucette nodded. That's right, she chatted softly. Myself, not someone else. Because I can't betray myself. This surprised her. You're really strong. Aloys quickly turned her face away. Thank you. Thanks to you, I understand. She didn't forget to add what it means to be grateful. If you need my help, please contact me. Her expression was calm. I will help you in the name of Aloys Simmel. Lucette immediately nodded. Thank you for your kindness. She thought to herself, is there anything I need her help with? Nothing was going smoothly. However, Simmel smiled and called out, Miss Lucette. Her mood was terrible. Were you feeling unwell anywhere last night? Lucette was surprised. Yes. She thought to herself, now, it's now, Your Highness.